Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. It's the Bennington Show, bringing back a live week. This was from Unplugged, a very short thing in the 90s that everybody
MTV's
loved.
Unplugged.
MTV's Unplugged. Look, and then you know what always bugged me? There was plenty of plugs in that. You know what I mean? I mean, if I think Unplugged, you shouldn't have a microphone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true.
Nothing can be plugged whatsoever. Anyone finds a plug and you're beaten.
It shouldn't even really be recorded.
No.
There's plugs there.
Good point. No lights, nothing. You sit in a dank room and nobody knows about it.
I'm on a plane. This is great. I wish I could see him.
You know what? That was a fucking pretty good impression out of nowhere. I'm on a plane. It's Bennington Show, the only father-daughter radio show in the history of radio. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I'm Ron Bennington. Now, we were... I don't even know who did the first Unplugged. Was it Clapton? Because everybody started to get a very big Unplugged record deal after that.
Oh, like you think it like caused a big trend after that?
Oh, yeah. No. It was a huge trend to have, and then you could release that as an album. But I forget. Maybe it was Nick DiPaolo I was talking to. He's like, I don't want to hear Layla that way. I want to hear it the fucking original way.
Layla.
And that was the whole point. And then you could do a couple little cover songs. And
I'm going to be honest, I'd rather not hear it either way.
Come on.
I've never been a big fan of that song.
What about the piano part?
I guess that's all right. Who was it? We knew somebody who messed up the lyrics of that and always thought it was Lady Love.
People are fucking idiots. People are idiots when it comes to singing shit, and I'm one of those people.
You got me on my knees, Lady Love.
All right, let me look over here at Google Balls. He's looked it up for us. Who is it, Chris?
In 1989, Squeeze was the first on MTV.
I never would have guessed that.
No.
And the second?
The Smithereens.
Cool. Really? Well, remember he did Unplugged at Dave's wedding. All right, who else?
10,000 Maniacs.
None of these are really sticking out as like the famous Unplugged.
Yeah.
Joe Walsh and Dr. John did Unplugged.
Did not even remember that.
Stevie Ray Vaughan and Joe Satriani.
All right, I had to get back into Unplugged because this is all fucking just crazy to me.
Hall & Oates did Unplugged.
Sinead O'Connor, I kind of remember that. Aerosmith, all the same year.
I just admit right now, I just remember Nirvana and Clapton. Now that it gets to it. And it was always in studios, right? Nobody went out and did it in like a fucking big place?
Crosby, Stills and Nash did it at the Ed Sullivan Theater.
Well, they're already unplugged.
REM did one.
See, you see how people fucking just go and release these. You see how many of them are just fucking released. So it started in 89. Clapton didn't do his until 92. And then, of course, Pearl Jam came rushing in. Again, Paul Simon, you're already unplugged, dude. He's doing his final tour.
Wow.
He's going to end it with 3 days at Madison Square Garden. And I've talked to a bank about getting tickets. It's... I'm going to have to put my summer home up, but I really think it's worth it. I'm trying to start something when I just start to sell access to the president. That's the best fucking job I've ever heard of in my life. I can talk to him. $500,000. I'm going to probably see him at the Hamptons this weekend or go golfing. Hey, Sean, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ronnie B.
Hey.
Which group was it that actually showed up with electric guitars and didn't actually get the concept of being unplugged?
I remember there were more and more people plugging in as it went along. But
You're ruining it.
It's hard to ask the Anthrax to be unplugged. You know what I mean? They plug. I mean, if you really were going to do unplug, you'd have to have a stand-up bass. Hey, Jay in Bakersfield.
Hey, Ronnie. The two albums that I grew up with, or that my mom had, I remember in the CD collection, was Lauryn Hill's Unplugged.
Oh, yeah.
And the 10,000 Maniacs Unplugged.
The 10,000 Maniacs have to go on some kind of list of bands who sound nothing like their name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you would think that we're fucking 10,000 maniacs.
Motherfuckers!
We're here to fucking light this place on fire. And then you just get, hey, Jack Kerouac, where's your mother? You're like, you're the 10,000 Maniacs? You seem like your name should be One Nice Girl.
Nice girl.
We're One Nice Girl. And this is a rap song I'm not doing as folk. Paper boy, where do you get that paper boy? I wish somebody would call him Toilet Paper Boy as an insult. He and Donald Glover never get a good day on that fucking show.
No.
The disrespect both those guys have had to take.
I think that Paperboy is my favorite dude ever because the way he can act on no expression. Like he's in the best place when really annoying, obnoxious things are happening and he's just looking at them. He doesn't change his face and yet you know that he's like on the verge of a breakdown. I don't know how someone is able to do that.
He's got very expressive, sad, angry eyes. My favorite thing with him is when he was playing basketball against Black Justin Bieber, because you could see Paperboy is really an actor. He is not a street guy. He's never fucking played ball in his life. It's like when on Eastbound and Downward, you'd see him actually try to pitch, and you're like, what? You're a 3-year-old girl? Carrie, what's up?
Yeah, Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash did probably one of the best unplugs ever.
Again, they're always unplugged. That's cheating, in my opinion. You know, to me, when they go around and play acoustic most of their life, but to me, it was the bands that you did not expect to be able to do it. And I think that's why their Nirvana thing went over. Is like you saw a different
right, because they were like hard, but then they also were so mumbly. I think that was the joke. Is like, who can even understand these dudes? And then to hear the music really pared down and simple.
If Willie Nelson walked in here right now with a guitar, we were like, this is the best show I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? He would be, look, Ian doesn't even look over this way now. Oh. Ian doesn't even look over. No, Ian, you don't. No, Ian, you don't get to do it anymore. No.
He realized he had missed us and came crawling back. Wait, my friends are in there.
He's the paper boy of the comedy world.
He's got to get to lunch. Can't be late.
My favorite part of the Eric Clapton Unplugged is when you just hear off stage, Eric, it's Amy Schumer. Can I do 10 minutes real fast? People just lace into Amy Schumer.
They give her a hard time.
Brendan Sagalow was doing his hour for Caroline's Breakout Artist Series. And when Amy wanted to do 10 minutes for her SNL monologue.
I don't understand what was such a horrible thing about it.
I don't know.
I have been to these things before. It's an uptown Brigham show. You know what I mean?
Right. And also, I think from reports, it seems like Brendan was like, oh yeah, hop up here, and thought it was like a fun thing.
Well, he did, but he's playing it both ways. He's like, yeah, I loved it. All my friends tell me it's shitty, though. Dude, I just saw Brendan the other day when I went down to see this True TV thing in a very hot pit. And so I'm walking down the street, and I see him. And he goes, man, did you fight? Were you here for this? It was like one of those New York moments. Like, you just fucking missed it, man. There was all these cops and detectives. There was helicopters. I go, what happened? So some young fucking kid was busted selling coke. And they had all these cops, and he's in the things, but he shimmies somehow. And Brendan did this impression of him shimmying out, and ran into a parking garage and was hiding, and they couldn't find him. And all I could picture was the skinniest motherfucker ever. But I remember I was walking up the street, going, man, I hope Brendan fucking puts that bit in his set. It's really funny because he was just doing the shimmy thing. But don't you think they're getting a little carried away with this stuff? I mean, what's the big deal?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like if he was upset about it, then it would be his thing to be upset about it, and he.
Well, look, think of it this way: if you're doing a show and all your friends or family are there supporting you, and Amy Schumer comes walking in,
well, that's kind of what I thought.
I bet they went batshit.
That's what I was kind of thinking about because, first of all, if I think I'm in that position, and then you have a big comic say your name and be like, "Hey, can I do this?" and then walk up and get a round of applause, it kind of seems like.
It'd be fucking fantastic.
You're very connected. You feel like you know this person very well.
But I remember I talked to Richard Lewis. I did an Unmasked with him years and years and years ago. And he told me this story about he's in Miami and he's not doing well. And Jackie Gleason walks out on stage. And it was like, hey, and the place goes crazy. And he goes to grab the mic, and Richard Lewis was holding on to the mic. And I'm like, why didn't you just give him the mic? It's fucking Jackie Gleason. You're making up this thing of this is not an important show for Brendan. It really is.
Right.
It's a fun night. It's good, but this wasn't his HBO hour that she walked out on. And by the way, that probably wouldn't have been so bad either.
And here's another thing. Now this is something that now has press and conversation, and people are tweeting and writing.
Oh yeah, he's
about
running around doing everybody's show.
Yeah. So like, doesn't work in his benefit for a lot of reasons.
How many people wrote about Dan Perlman's fucking hour after it happened?
It's because Amy didn't show up.
I know, exactly. Hey, Dave in Scranton. Dave.
Yeah, hey, Elvis did an Unplugged in 1968 on NBC.
Well, we all know the Elvis special, and it wasn't unplugged. The band was plugged. He sat down. Okay. You know what I mean? He sat down, which was fantastic.
The same format.
But they were not unplugged. I remember like certain bands, Led Zeppelin always used to go do their acoustic part of the show. And you're like, oh, thank God. Oh, what a fucking relief. I come from the land of the ice and snow. I'm off the gods. No, you don't, dude.
I'm off the gods.
You're from fucking Brighton or wherever you people come from over there. You're from Slough. Stupid names of everything around London. Just one nutty name after another. Then you find out it's like saying you're from Hoboken. It's not like you lived in the fucking sticks. You're from No Joking. Hey, Trisha.
Hey. So one of my favorite unplugs was Stone Temple Pilots. And I actually got to see them in 1996 when they were like at the height of their time. And they actually they had a stage that came down from the top.
Yeah.
And it was an MTV Unplugged set. And they did like Pretty Penny and Half the Man I Used to Be. And then the stage went back up and they did the rest of their rock show plugged.
Yeah, it's just really funny that they even thought they had to bring in a separate stage down.
Now you're getting a mini
Unplugged. Awesome.
Well, there was a part of the early 90s that was probably as close as to the 60s as we've ever been. You know what I mean? It was like downright hippie-ish.
Yeah.
They were kind of tribal and everything, but
yeah, there was like a mix too. Like bands were doing some world beats and stuff as well. That was like a part of.
Also with the Nirvana Unplugged, just that stupid sweater that he was wearing that suddenly
green, ugly green sweater.
Yeah, it suddenly became iconic after that. Hey, Gail. Gail, what's up?
Yeah.
Not you, Gail.
I was thinking that Alice in Chains had like the greatest Unplugged.
Yeah, they were around for the Unplugged. Alice, this is Chains.
You could hear their lyrics, and it made it like more poignant somehow.
It would have to. It would have to. Gail, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. When I had the Ron and Ron network, there was a traffic reporter out of our Chattanooga station, right? Whose name was Allison Chains.
I love it.
Yeah. I remember we brought her down because she was adorable. But it was just like, that's not your real name, is it?
Mm-hmm. My Christian name.
I am Allison. Allison Chains. Allison Chains, it's Amy Schumer. Can I come out and do 10 minutes?
Oh, I guess.
All right, this would be the greatest thing for Brendan. And hopefully the fucking heat will stay on Amy, because she's doing an SNL thing. And if she allowed Brendan to go, Amy, it's Brendan.
Oh my God.
Can I do 30 seconds?
Oh, that's perfect.
I don't think this will be around long enough. It's just the latest thing to be mad at Amy about.
I know, but that's too perfect.
I wish that we would say to people when they crave stardom, oh, by the way, 1 year after all this positive shit that you hear, the rest of your life you're just going to hear negative shit. And and then the comeback will happen. Like, people forget. They fucking were vicious to Roseanne for 25 years.
Oh yeah, she was very very hated.
And now people are like, did you see Roseanne last night? Did you see Roseanne? And we're like, Roseanne has always been here. You could have had this show.
And I thought all the right-wing people hated her because she messed up the anthem or something. Remember, everyone was upset.
She sang the anthem bad, and then she grabbed her crotch.
Yeah, so everyone was pretty upset.
No, they were fucking freaked out. They were just out of their minds. It was like if she asked Brendan if she could do 10 minutes. And she's fat. She doesn't even know it, but she's fat. Well, just fucking nightmarish.
Yeah.
Just celebrity is nightmarish. Look at Brendan all happy there. Like, look, everybody.
It's my friend,
Amy.
Amy. I mean, I would love for that to happen to me. Get 10 minutes to just recollect my thoughts.
I wouldn't even care who it was. I would hear like, Ron, it's Robert Mueller. Could I come up and do 10 minutes?
Yeah. Everybody.
As soon as I get back to the set. Ron, it's Bart Simpson. What? Ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if it was such a big show for him, why was he dressed like that?
I mean, she's dressed nicer for her poppin'.
Yeah. She is doing SNL.
Yeah.
10 minutes, though? It's a lot. I like a good 1 minute thing and break into a song and get out of there.
They give the comics a big
That's
opening.
the new thing.
Yeah.
I don't know who the first to do it.
I thought it was Louis.
It's either Louis or Dane Cook, where they're like, just give me a mic and let me do my fucking thing, man.
Fucking rip this shit up.
Well, didn't Dane Cook get like banned because of he did like a long monologue?
That wasn't the reason he was banned. I don't think he was banned. I think the whole, the wave fucking broke. I don't think he was banned from anything. But I remember his was really fucking long. Really? Like, is this a special? And Louis was pretty long too.
Yeah.
And then Aziz had to come out and do it.
He did one.
Aziz is like the Indian Louis, right up to like, how can I get in some kind of Me Too thing? And then once again, it was a lame version of it.
Right, exactly.
But
it
he
was a fish hook.
Yeah.
Was really, I think, what happened.
Ugh. But he's fucking laid low, right? Aziz.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard anything.
Or Aziz. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Maybe Aziz. Jason. Jason, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie. Jay-Z's Unplugged pretty good for a little different.
I have to admit, I wasn't around for the Jay-Z Unplugged. Does anybody remember it?
I actually don't remember it.
He had the Roots with him. I feel like that's the last one I remember. And it was pretty late in the series.
It would have to be.
Yeah. It was 2001.
Yeah, well, it started in 89. By the time we got there, Chris Brown, Jay-Z's, the guy that Jay-Z pointed out was an asshole before anybody. Is he busted again on this thing? Apparently, they kept a woman at an orgy who didn't want to be at the orgy.
Yeah, I don't know if he's busted yet, but he's being accused of forcing a woman to go down on another woman, I believe, are the details, and then having sex with another guy.
He loves to give the details of the rapes.
I don't understand that.
I don't know why, and no one asked for the This is the second time in a row you have brought up the explicit details of a rape that we were just asking about the charges.
It's the second time in 2 days.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for 11 years.
It's so disturbing. Please.
That's our Chris. He's not a regular person.
No. He doesn't have tact.
There's not one word to describe the way he talks, so I'll use two. Really bad. She forced the woman to put her face in another woman's vagina. I think into her labia.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, another guy cornholed her asshole, forcing the head of his penis. Wow. Unlike everyone else, I was up last night when the prisoners returned.
Were you?
Yeah.
I did not see it live.
It was a very exciting moment. Well, two things stood out for me. The plane that they brought him back looked very old to me. Like it would be like it looked like it would have been the Freebird. You know what I mean? It looked like Leonard Skinner went down in that plane. And it had the whole United States thing on the side. No, it just looked old. I didn't like the age of it. Two, so they're going out of the way to say, these Americans are coming back. These Americans are coming back. And not just Fox, but the liberal media. I'm watching everybody. So, because I'm seeing like who celebrates this and who doesn't. So Trump goes in, he goes into the plane. He comes back out with these guys. He towers over them, and so does Melania. They're the tiniest little Americans you've ever seen. Then they walk up, and the press is allowed to ask questions, and not one of the Americans speaks English.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very surprised.
Exactly. I'm also surprised no one's saying, hey, what are these Americans doing over there in North Korea? Like, even when Dennis Rodman went there, we're like, he's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But if I was like a Korean going there for business, if that was my brother, I'd be like, dude, please don't fucking go there and try to do business.
I thought it was like an espionage type charge or something like that. They assumed that they were.
There always is.
But that made me think that they either did have some sort of government ties, or I was very confused. Now finding out they don't even speak English.
Not even if they had. There's a little woman to the side there. She's the interpreter. And because the first thing I noticed, they were coming down and they were like bowing to people. And I'm like, normally you don't meet a Korean American and she starts bowing to people.
Sure.
I don't know. No one's asking. I ain't fucking saying nothing.
Well, I'm glad they're back.
Yeah. It was, actually, it wasn't exciting enough. I think there should have been a bigger brouhaha.
That plane does look old.
It looks fucking so old.
It looks like it's from the 70s at least. Doesn't it?
I would
like
go
that
even
style.
earlier. But it even looks like a little beat up, like it's stained and dingy looking.
Is it a North Korean plane?
Chris, please.
Oh my God.
Why do you have to go so blunt with it? No one blew each other on the plane, Chris.
I just think they might have.
He wants to explain in detail all the torture that they received. Most of it sexual in nature.
One dude said he was in labor. He's like, they said, how did they treat you? And everyone was like, oh. And the guy was like, through his interpreter that. I was in labor, but when I got sick, they did take care of me. Like, he still is like, I don't want to say anything about North Korea at all. I don't want these motherfuckers.
Very good. We had a wonderful time.
But I think Trump would have been fucking bitching about any three immigrants who never learned the language.
Yeah.
This is his whole platform.
I know.
No fucking dreamers.
Chick Chris, please.
Oh my God.
Fucking dreamers that are having sex with each other.
They can. They do.
Matt in New Hampshire.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Talking about acoustic renditions of song. The Grateful Dead did an album from Radio City Music Hall in 1980 that had an entire acoustic set. And
Woody Guthrie also did it in the 30s. Yeah, everybody. This is not saying people have never played Unplugged before.
Right.
By the way, I love that set from them at Radio City. That acoustic set. It's fucking fantastic. Well, wait. I only heard it high. I gotta wait.
Check
wait
it again.
This is some exciting news that broke last night. Dice Clay called our friend Big J Okerson and said, "Let's do a tour together."
Yes. Crazy.
Jay immediately accepted, and I don't think they had ever met, right? Jay, according to Jay's thing that I saw, he was like surprised at Dice.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "I wouldn't even know that Dice knew who I was." So, I mean, this was an idol of his, of Jay's when he was a kid. Dice pointed out that his idol was Elvis, who did an unplugged set with a chair in 1968.
That chair wasn't plugged in?
No, you weren't going to get any vibration out of that chair whatsoever. So this is literally a show that I would pay to go see.
Oh,
I would love
100%.
This would be so much fun. And really, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about Soder, but I would love to just be Jay and Dice on the bonfire. Here, let me get that for you.
I got it.
They never pull your chair out for you, do they? Your little stool. Tim, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie, what you say? What you thought about the first Unplugged with Fred Flintstone and the Bedrock?
Well, there was. I mean, you have to consider you're going back prehistoric with them, and prehistoric means there was no history before this happened.
I guess I never really thought about it, but that's exactly what it means.
Then how do we know anything if it's prehistoric?
It's before history started.
Yes. We did not have history yet.
But I would have liked to seen the Bedrock Twitch Unplugged.
Well, I think that the Unplugged thing goes back to the work that he was doing with Barney in the bathtub. Barney could not sing outside of the shower.
Wonderful program.
Oh, so good. So good and so funny how in prehistoric times that we had celebrities that were so much like 1960s older celebrities. When you look back like at the 60s TV, I don't know if it's ever been that silly. Gilligan's Island, Hogan's Heroes.
Why do you think it was such a silly time?
Because people were just looking at TV because it was now becoming in color. They were thrilled about it.
What can we do with the colors on this show?
Could you imagine how, like, first of all, when they just had TV, people were so excited. And then when they said, by the way, it's coming in color. I don't know whether we've ever had another jump like that.
No.
I mean in TV. Now, of course, with the fucking phones.
Right, of course.
But everybody's bored with their phone now. And I don't get it. It's doing the same shit that you were fucking freaking out about.
Yeah.
You got all those apps that you like so much. Matt in Atlanta.
Hey, Atlanta.
Turn your radio down.
They're all my brothers. Turn your radio down.
All right, I can't do it. All my brothers. He just yelled at. Love them. Let me guess. Then they're unplugged. Did they do Midnight Rider? There may not be as fun a song to sing around with as Midnight Rider because everyone feels like they
that's
sing
a good
it
one.
correctly. And it's got those, just ridiculous cowboy lyrics. No one writes about being a cowboy anymore. But there was a time, like in the early 70s, like they were still writing about the Civil War and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The band was doing it. Any of the country, fucking John. Don't let them catch the Midnight Rider. Let's just face something. If you got a guy in your neighborhood and he's only got $1 left and his whole thing that he's bragging around is that he ain't showering or anything, but he's staying on the run. You're like, that's the lowest fucking dude I've ever met. There's nothing slightly romantic about it. But give it some history, not prehistory, that's too far back, but give it some history and people are like, oh, that's amazing.
Love it.
The Midnight Rider. Hey Vito, I've seen a lot of now backlash starting against Donald Glover.
Yeah, some weird stuff like Alex Jones feels that he is promoting voodoo culture by doing voodoo dances in the This Is America video.
But it's not just Alex Jones. There's a lot of people. I mean, a lot of like professors and shit are like, man, I'm not sure about this.
Really?
Yeah.
And he's talking about the African-inspired dance?
Yeah, the dances he's doing, which like are actually all references to minstrel acts and like Jim Crow era stuff. That's what the entire video's about. The dancing, the whole point is a distraction from what's happening in the background. But yeah, Alex Jones thinks it's voodoo trying to take over all of our minds.
I haven't even seen any of this stuff in the background. I'm just looking at the dancing.
Because it's
Isn't that
so
what it's supposed to
distracting.
Then Alex Jones also said the Clintons do voodoo dancing.
Well, he always makes good
All right, so
points.
you say none of that stuff is African?
It's what I have read is that most of it is supposed to be mocking old minstrel type acts from.
I don't know if he's mocking it. He's just saying this is what we do. We get distracted because, we're fun entertainers.
Yeah. I mean, certainly that moment when he does when he shoots the guy, that like pose was like an old minstrel.
It's the literal like Jim Crow like portrait that has been out there for years.
But isn't he saying that the Jim Crow thing hasn't stopped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's not mocking it.
No, well, the dances were,
Look,
mocking
the
was
fact
wrong word.
is, when's the last time that we had a video or a song that people even discussed and disagreed with?
I know.
When we even had a fucking movie like that? I mean, I got upset when Black Panther died. And I think something, the Stones, Harry Potter and the Stones.
Yeah.
What are the name of these stones?
The Infinity Stones.
Why? The worst kind of sci-fi writing is when you bring up a magic stone.
Yeah.
There's 5 of them in this one.
I mean, why did Groot have to die? He's always been my favorite tree.
I know.
Or bush.
I've never seen a Groot movie, but like I think I'd like him.
So good.
Because I really like little cute plants.
Dancing Baby Groot? Oh, you would love Dancing Baby Groot.
I bought one for Christmas.
Did you?
Yeah, you play music and it just moves back and forth.
And Groot's a good guy, right?
Yeah, Groot's one of the good ones.
Groot is friends with the guy who bought one for Christmas.
Did you?
Yeah, you play music and it just moves back and forth.
And Groot's a good guy, right?
Yeah, Groot's one of the good ones.
Groot is friends with the guy from The Office. Pam. I think his name is Pam.
Okay.
So Pam from The Office.
So he's like a sidekick, Groot.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Pam from The Office, Groot, a raccoon, and a wrestler.
Okay.
A painted wrestler. Such a good fucking show.
Glover's also getting heat because he has a white baby mama, and there's outrage on Twitter.
Are we still saying baby mama?
Yeah, we
well,
still
I mean,
say
it's
it.
easier than saying the mother of his child.
Yeah, but it seems cruder.
The mother of his child, he's getting backlash because she's white. And people are
He's
saying...
allowed to date white people.
But
yes, he's successful.
but
Let's see.
You just put in wife and you heard him say baby mama.
But people are saying he promotes all this stuff about black culture, yet he has a white mother of his child. People
He's
are just
still black.
They're trying to just find things to bring the guy
Still
down.
his
Yeah, but no one
culture.
said that the promotion of the culture is for you to stay inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just people are trying to find things to be against him now because he...
Would you be the first person in your family to marry a non-Italian?
Yeah. It would be me.
And Chris, would you be the first person in your family? Everybody died.
No, before you answer, you have no choice.
Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. No, I think it's great people are even talking about it.
Yeah.
The director of the video is awesome. His name's Hiro Murai. He's done most of the episodes of Atlanta. Yeah. He did 2 of the best episodes of Barry this season.
Thanks for the fun facts, but just be a person instead of ripping off a bunch of facts.
I would hate to say this, but this is him as a person. Like, he's doing this constantly to me. Like, I'll be in the office, and then all of a sudden he's like, do you know that Donald Glover? And I'm like, all right, dude. Like, I'm a big fan, too.
Did you know that Derek Comedy started at NYU?
He's such a pain.
So, our booker, Liam, was a roommate with one of the members of Derek Comedy.
He has so many facts about it.
His first ever show as Childish Gambino was at Creek in the Cave.
Now he won't even go back there. Even though that he was right here in town. Could have walked over and said, hey, without you guys. Big star with his white baby mama.
With his voodoo dancing.
You know that Donald Glover jumped on stage when Amy Schumer was on stage and got her to get off?
I think he could now.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely do.
I don't get it. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't find any of it funny. I don't watch TV. I read books at night. I read books in Latin and Gaelic.
Oh.
Do you know I was always disappointed, Gail, that you never learned Gaelic? I just felt like
it does feel like it should be like my native tongue.
Yeah, if something was called Ronic, I would say like, how do I talk
ironic?
This?
Don't you think?
It's like rain. Rain on your wedding day. How's that ironic? Not at all.
It's like meeting the man of your dreams and then meeting his beautiful wife.
Oh God, it's happened to everybody.
Why didn't you look at his ring finger, dude? That's on you.
I'm always like this. I'd fuck that dude. Oh, that's his wife? Shit. Is it his wife or his baby mama? Does anyone say this? I'm a baby grandmama.
Yeah, that's part of the culture.
She's the one raising it. I understand. I get it now. I understand the whole fucking thing.
You've had this picture up of Donald Glover and his baby mama, and I'm just thinking, what makes him so happy about what's in that bag?
I think it's a bag of McDonald's.
It looks like he's looking in this bag like, I'm going to eat this shit. And he looks so psyched.
Everybody goes out to get breakfast and looks like shit. I mean, I'm not saying that they slept in that, but that was laying on the floor when they woke up.
All I'm looking at is the baby mama's maternity wear. I'm like, I need that dress.
Yeah, I know. It is pretty great. And now I'm going to sound even more racist than Chris, if that's possible.
How?
But she seems a little Asian to me. And I think that counts as staying in your culture.
See the features. Can we
get a close up?
Not going to specify which ones I'm looking for.
I think there's a little bit of Asian.
Yeah, I think she's mixed.
Which is the prettiest people you can have, a mixed race.
Oh my God, they're beautiful.
So, do you think Donald Glover is the biggest celebrity in the world right now?
Yeah, he's having his moment. He's, as they would have said a few weeks ago, next up.
What's that mean?
Term right now is like when somebody's about to pop off, you say they're next up.
Yeah, that seems like not too far-fetched, though. I mean, I could have came up with that
Crazy
slang.
Yeah. I had your next. I'm so fucking mad that I lost it.
Next up.
I just want to do next. Next. You ever see how, like, if, like, you're waiting for, like, a hotel or to get plane tickets or something, and the person just, and they make you sit 7 fucking feet away, you're going to stand there, and then I go like this. Next. Like it's your fault. You're like, motherfucker, if I would have walked up a second before, you'd be like, back, please. I can't stand when there's a fucking long line like that and people are asking questions. I'm like, you got a lot of shit behind you.
I know.
Just get your fucking shit.
I'm like,
who cares where the ice machine is?
If you stood in that line earlier, then you should know how we all feel.
Right.
And now you're going to take time. I think about that if you're in a long bathroom line and one person is like taking a really long time in there, And you can hear them like fucking around, like putting on makeup or washing their hands way too long. And you're just like, you were just in our position. You know what it feels like to wait.
And they're in there,
just lathering up for a shave.
I couldn't, here's the problem. We do not see ourselves as a society, okay? We see ourselves as these such important individuals. And people are like, I'm going to get mine. I was in line, in a really long fucking security line, right? And there was a woman about halfway through, and they were going like this, Miss! Miss! And they were trying to say, I have a plane to catch, right? And I'm laughing. I'm like, every motherfucker here has a plane to catch. You know what I mean?
Dude, the one, like, I think about this. For some reason, I think about this shit once a week. It happened to me like a couple years ago. I'm in a really long line at a Rite Aid.
Yeah.
A super long line. It's Halloween night. And there's a woman standing there, and she's going up and down the aisle, holding bags of candy and being like, I'm sorry, can I cut? This is for the children. This is for the children. So I was wondering if I could cut everybody. Everyone is literally standing in line with bags of candy. And we all are just looking at each other like, is anyone just going to say anything to her? And we're just staring at her like, you're a nut. You didn't say like, I'm bleeding, I need this bandage.
Right.
She's like, my needs are, I perceive to be more important than 20 other people who, if you look, all have things in their hands and places to go.
Some of them medication.
Yes, I was like, dude, what are you doing?
I would like to say this to Rite Aid and every drugstore. Drugstore. That's it. Have a place that just sells drugs. Then next to it, tchotchkes.
Yeah, but what about that one wall where you could like buy like a snuggie and like all that weird like as seen on TV shit?
It's fucking ridiculous.
Love that aisle. I love going to the made for TV aisle.
You know why? You were made for TV.
Thank you.
I'd love to see you walk in the fucking Midway. You'd leave in your underwear. You'd be happy.
He would, because he would be happy with the experience he had. Do you play?
Because he came so close.
Do you play carnival games if you're at a carnival?
He is a carnival game.
Yeah, played San Gennaro one year. I really got taken for the ball in the fucking basket game.
Yes.
It's called basketball.
No, basketball's a different sport entirely.
Way to correct the joke, you fucking dummy. Jen was asking me, I forget about, she had a carnival ride question. Get over here, you goddamn bit.
Vito, you've just ran into her. She's little.
You don't have to work with him. We can get your own separate studio. Were you thrown by Bobby Kelly yesterday in his crazy talk?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
A bit when he was spitting out his drink and spit it on my face. I'm like, okay, now it's getting to be too much.
Yeah. You know my name, David Dish. No, that isn't your name.
I immediately wanted to go, can we vote on it? Because I don't think David
I think we do
Dish.
better. The first thing that you said so far that didn't make me laugh. Yeah, he was insane yesterday, but incredibly funny.
He was so funny.
But he was forcing you to go faster.
Yeah.
Like an ADD kid. It's the funniest shit ever.
Jen's face, her like, I thought we'd all talk about this.
Yes. I have 19 of them, and we're 8 minutes in, and this is my last. Go!
Go, you stupid bitch.
I know. And then when,
the amount of times he called her mulatto, I was like...
I said HR, and he goes, no, characters can't get in trouble. Yeah, they can. Characters can get in trouble. So what was your carnival question?
Well,
By the way, you don't seem like a carnival girl to me at all.
Well, when I was younger, because I went to Catholic school, we used to have a carnival every year around May. So it was like a social thing where like older people, it was just a fun hangout. You know,
Sure.
our parents would be like getting funnel cakes and we'd all like be kissing boys in a corner or something like that.
You and your parents?
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, who's dating? It would just be like a social hangout.
You dated Catholic boys?
Well, yeah, because I went to school, Catholic school.
So we're like first day of school, you're always like, "That's the one I want this year."
Yeah. It was usually the same one.
Do you still have does your little Catholic girl outfit still fit?
I haven't tried it on.
Yeah, we're gonna do that tomorrow.
I don't know if I have it, but.
Age play. So you love the carnival every year?
Yeah. And we used to have like a ride called Starships, and it was kind of like gravity would just pull you to this board thing, and then they would just spin you around.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah,
yeah.
That was your number one ride.
That was my favorite. It was
what about
so
you,
fun.
Gail?
Oh, man, that one is really crazy. It's almost too crazy, I would say. Like at that point, you're going too far. But I'm a big fan of the zipper. I fucking love a zipper.
Well, let me tell you something. From being a carny kid, when I was young, the zipper came out, right? And I was like a little kid with my grandparents. And I swear to God, I think the zipper is still the number one ride.
I've heard
in
that
the
before.
history. There's always been a line at the zipper.
Yeah. The zipper. I don't like the idea of a zipper getting unzipped, if you will.
Well, every year we've already had the first roller coaster that fucking jammed and the people were upside down.
Yeah.
And they were there for 5 hours. And then the fire department has to come and lower them down in a bucket. So those things happen all the time. Supposedly, before I was born, my grandparents were working on a carnival, and the ride came apart, right? And it was what do you call the
Ferris wheel?
Yeah, the Ferris wheel just rolled. That thing rolled right down the midway.
Whoa!
Now there was a ride called the Paratrooper when I was a kid, and that opened up, and it was on a pavement, and a guy went right down and got killed. And they stopped the ride for almost 20 minutes, I think, before they started back up again.
Yeah, that looks pretty sketchy.
Not really. It looks kind of childish.
But I just mean the setup. All carnival rides just kind of look like a little bit thrown together.
When I was in Canada, and there was some really rough fucking Canadian ride boys, right? Well, we would go and drink at a Chinese restaurant every night because it was right close by. And there was a guy who they referred to as Chinaman. He was like owner, waiter of this restaurant bar. And, they were always just yelling shit at him and all, I was like 17 at the time, and I'm just like, man, fucking Canadians. Always heard they were nice. These guys are, you know what I mean? They were hardcore. So they fucking invite him down and put him on one of these rides at lunchtime, right? We didn't open up until like night. It was like at noon, we were always just starting to stir, and then, things would start to open up like 4:30, 5 o'clock, but it would take till night till the whole thing was going. So they put him on this fucking ride, and then they just leave him there. And he's fucking going around and around, and finally he's throwing up on himself and shit. And these dudes were on the fucking ground laughing.
That's really sinister.
Yeah.
Like, that's really, really creepy.
Yeah. And if I was like a better young man, I'd have been like, stop and let this Asian man off right now. Are we all not the same? But I'm just like, hey, someone else is getting fucking picked on. This is not bad from Ronnie B. So, yeah, I'm always a little wary of carnival rides as it is because I've watched them be put together.
The one that Jen mentioned, which is like a gravitron, right?
Yeah.
Or that's like different because it's like looks like a spaceship.
It is a great feeling to be stuck against the wall.
It's really weird.
And then there's always a girl with a dress and it's fucking going up.
100%. And then, God, you're a weirdo, Chris.
He told me yesterday he saw a woman's dress blow up because you just missed it.
I'm just saying. I was just making conversation.
You're crude, dude.
You
one
are
crude dude.
You are a crude dude. But yeah, I remember they always had a gravitron at Culture Shock at SUNY Purchase. They'd usually get a zipper, a gravitron, something like that. It was great, and some carnival
Get
food.
the big ones.
Yeah, and we were on the gravitron, and it was like this skinny carny kid who looked like kind of like Juggalo style. That's always like the modern day carny kind of looks like that. like got up while we were spinning against the wall, and then hopped up so he could stand sideways on the wall as we were going around, and just walked like this with his arms out like Jesus.
Wow.
And I was like, fucking badass.
Yeah.
This little white trash kid is the coolest kid ever.
No, those guys are. I mean, they're fucking hardcore. Like, they were Jackass way before there was Jackass.
I was like, this guy's got the greatest job ever.
I do think bumper cars has got to be is the fucking most exciting thing to be on when you're a kid. First of all, it feels like you're driving.
Yeah.
And you're crashing. And even though it's against the rules to do a head-on crash, you're always in one head-on crash.
Yeah, at
because you
least.
get spun around.
Hey.
But there's always one kid, you ever notice? He tries to treat it like it's a race, and he's just driving around instead
and
of
avoiding
bumping.
people.
Yes. He's like, I'm in first place. First place of what? Of not crashing? That's the whole point here. And then you'll always see those guys. There'll be some kid who's stuck, and they just walk through the bumper cars and fucking stand up in the car, and they're moving it while they're hanging on the outside.
That was me.
Oh, you still can't drive. Like that idiot right there who's just fucking sideways.
That was me, man. That fucking sucked.
Would you guys go to the one in Coney Island?
We went to Coney
Bump your ass off?
Yeah.
That place is still there. And then the thing is just like, bump your ass off.
That's hilarious. Well, the fucking Cyclone there is like one of the oldest.
Yes.
And when it was first built, they didn't even have fucking straps to hold you in. People were just holding it as far.
Yeah.
And they called it something like the Tooth Crusher. And like part of the fun was a lot of people
smashing your face
a lot of people
forward.
would lose their teeth.
Now, to this day, I love Coney Island. I love going on that ride. But I will tell you that if you've got to share the car with someone else.
Yeah.
You don't want to be alone because you don't want to be slipping and sliding.
Right, good point.
And I would say the chunkier your seatmate is, the better. Because I rode with my skinny little brother once, and I got a hip bone into my hip and just had a massive bruise because that thing just jerks you around.
Go with
and you
Vito.
like,
Just cushion into his belly.
You need like a soft person next to you.
Boy, you're going down and the fucking on the Cyclone, and you just hear Donald Glover first came to New York in 1989. Glover, the third of four children. Like if he was just fucking having a conversation, not reading facts that all of us could get at Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Jen, you feel like you don't even like Donald Glover as much as he does?
I mean, I'm like a new fan, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really like until he became mainstream. So
that's how I like people too when they become mainstream.
Fucking mainstream.
Yeah, I don't like anybody's first album. I like the third or fourth. I'm like, oh, we mainstream now? Welcome. I'm that person you were trying to reach all these years.
And then like someone's just like, I like the first album. You're like, yeah, I didn't get that until the single.
I always go like this.
Really liked them.
I liked them when they were on American Idol. And they sang Hallelujah. Out of the 80, 100 people who sang Hallelujah, that's my top 5. I haven't watched the second of American Idol this year.
Me either.
I also haven't seen Roseanne. I don't even know what night it comes on. I've read about it.
I am behind. Like I want as her ratings did fall off. I think the
You're
allure.
part of the reason.
Yeah, I watched the first, I think 3 live, and then now I have like 1 or 2 to catch up on. I don't know when. I can't remember when it came on, but
I know some people were mad at her because there was an episode, I guess last night or 2 nights ago, whenever it runs, and they said that she did the gimmick of a Muslim family moved to town and she thought that they were a cell. And I'm just like, well, that seems a little broad. You know what I mean? That seems a little Simpsons.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think anybody would be like, hey, I think we've got a sleeper cell across the street from us. I don't know if anyone's bad enough for that anymore. Now, if it was 2002, yeah, people were saying this shit all the time.
Right.
I don't trust the deli guy.
It was the peak of See Something, Say Something.
I saw that episode, and it was really similar to an episode of the Carmichael Show. Like, they did the exact same thing 2 or 3 years ago.
You love Carmichael, too?
Big Gerard Carmichael fan.
Yeah.
You want some fun facts?
I forgot. His favorite thing in the world is 20-year-old black guys. If you're in your 20s and you're black, he loves you.
Ian.
Oh. Ian, why don't you just make out with Ian?
No, we're just friends. I don't want to complicate the relationship.
All right, that's a good point. You know what I mean?
Well, friends are
no, I have dated friends, and it really is bad, you know? Because it's over, you lose the friendship. Peter, when you get your headphones back, you do this every time. All right? So he'll take his headphones back, right? And instead of just like sitting down like he was the whole time before, he gets his headphones on and he starts going from side to side like a gorilla in a cage. And it's just like he's taking his area back. And I find it so strange. And it's happened since as long as I've known him.
Wow. Now that you're doing the impression, I 100% know that what you're talking about, but I never picked up on it.
So he'll be sitting and he's just doing the show. And if anything, he's a little lackluster. I mean, he doesn't bring a lot of energy to the show normally. You know, a fun fact here or there. You know, sometimes he's mad at Chris and there's a little more energy. But then the thing of when we want to talk to somebody else in the room, he gives his headphones away. And like you said, it's a big physical thing. Then, when he comes back, the headphones go on sideways and he's
getting his space back. Claim that zone.
He's all but beating on his chest.
Do you like that more or Chris's one eye closed with his headphones look that he does? I just like when his hair is long so that I don't see it as much. But it's always happening. One eye is just like half closed like a prize fighter.
He would be the first person aware of that.
Nope. I can never tell.
You know when it was really apparent to us is when we were over at what is it called? Jazz? Jalk? I called it Jazz.
Lincoln Center.
Remember he said Jalk a million times?
Yes.
We'll be at Jalk. Jalk. Beanock has already talked to us about Jalk.
So we at Jalk and the studio we were in, we literally all could hold hands in a circle because the three of us were so close in that room. I mean, so incredibly close. And that's when you would just be like, Chris, take that headphone off your eye. Because it was like we were just staring into each other's faces so close we could feel each other's breath. It was insane in there.
It was so weird. I guess it was why this place was being, remodeled for the 800th time. And then you get into Jalk. And you're just there constantly every day. And then we've never been back there since.
No. We should do a Jalk reunion.
Remember that one guy hated us?
Oh, he was pissed.
Yeah, he didn't like us.
And everyone knows that he's like a fucking mad dog. They were like, yeah, I know. Deal with him a lot. Someone used the name Blackboard and blew up his fucking whole spot. He was furious.
Also, remember he was upset because we were eating sandwiches in a room that he's like, did you ask to eat sandwiches in here?
Yeah, we eat where we eat, dude. It's not a fucking cafeteria here.
Fucking business during the tour.
Pit Doc just came here. That's the only reason why we're eating. Pit Doc brought it in.
And then he actually said something like, you guys are going to be in trouble. I'm like, we're not.
Nope, we're not.
Chris was getting all tense, remember?
Because he just barged in. He's giving someone a fucking tour.
Anyway,
that literally was his room. That was his recording studio.
But I would like to do a Jalk reunion. Just a week of shows. Stack the three of us very close
I'll
together.
do it. I'm fucking in. Right before you have the baby. You know, I remember being a little kid when we were back to carny rides. Anything that you dropped, and it was like the first time that you had a sensation in your balls, and you're like, wait, how does this fucking happen again?
Well, that's really strange because it took me a while to find that out because I didn't know that's where boys feel it. Because girls think that, you feel it in your stomach or in your belly, but it's our sex organs as well, which are on the inside.
Ew.
So why is it both like our ovaries, I guess, and your balls are like both have that same sensation. Like, why does that happen?
I don't know why it goes down like that, but I remember like there was a ride on the way to kindergarten, and we would come down the hill, and then there'd be another dip, and me and my friend were in the back seat, and we were like, "Woo!"
Yeah.
And then after that, we're like, "Drive faster!" Like every day on the way in, we'd be like, "Drive fast down this hill," not saying. We want to feel it in our balls. The amount of feelings that are kind of orgasmic, but they're not. You know what I mean? Like,
right? Like they give you. Like,
I mean, let's face it. Orgasm is the
sensation.
best fucking feeling anybody could
That's the
have.
best we got.
Yeah, that's as good as a human gets. And then that's why, like, when they talk about like endless bliss in heaven, I'm like, well, I don't know how much that I could take.
Like,
You know what I mean?
what if heaven is just a nonstop orgasm?
I mean, how long could you handle an orgasm if you had that feeling that lasted, let's say, more than 50 seconds?
Yeah.
It would probably start to drive you quite mad.
Like, I remember someone said things like lions have something like 30 orgasms a day, but like pigs have like a 30-minute orgasm. And I'm like, that sounds horrible. Like, that's hell. That's too long.
That's why they don't mind being in mud.
He looks happy.
Yeah, he's having a good time. He's happy as a pig in a 30-minute orgasm.
But yeah, there are all these like just regular life sensations that I'll put just below like actual sexual orgasm.
Well, there's kind of I don't know if it has a name, but it's like a pee chill that you can get, like if you've been drinking and you have a long pee.
Yeah.
And then you could get that.
The shiver. Like a
Yeah.
piss shiver?
Yeah, piss shiver
Yeah.
could be a definite thing.
But that is like a great sensation of like you've held a pee for too long.
Yes.
And now the release, and you're just like, well, this is as good as it gets. And it could give you chills.
And I think that's why you get it when you're drinking beer, because you don't normally have that much fucking in your system and you're in the middle of a conversation.
Right.
And like, you just don't have that kind of beverage.
Right. No, the quantity of liquid you drink when you're drinking is really weird.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
You would never just see someone pound like 8 pints of water. You would be like, he's a nut.
He's really drinking too much water. It's going to damage his bladder. I drank a case of water today. It's nothing for me. All right, what's another feeling? The non-orgasmic.
All right. So this is, to me, one of the most perfect non-sexual orgasmic feelings. When you're cleaning your ears
Eargasm.
and you like, just as the Q-tip and you're rounding it, and it can give you chills through your whole body.
That literally is called an eargasm.
It's so good.
What's even better is, and I urge everyone to go to their ear doctor, get your ears cleaned out by an ear doctor, because they go deep and it lasts a long time and it feels fucking amazing. I had my ears cleaned out. It took about 45 minutes to get everything totally fucking cleaned out. And they are fucking making you feel so good. It's like an ear massage and it goes on and on and on, and they clear your shit out and it feels fucking amazing.
I do kind of want this.
He's selling it hard.
Go, please. It's going to feel like the shit.
Now, what if you use that colonic that Vito gave you? I think you'd like it.
Still in my house.
Yeah, but something about cleaning your ears, it's just like, it's the best feeling.
But you can't always get it.
No.
It just happens like...
If you hit the right spot.
Yeah, it just happens every once in a while. David in Tampa.
I got one for you, Ronnie.
Good.
I got a really, really bad back since I'm a little kid. Sometimes the only way to get it feeling better is have my wife sit on it, and it'll like crack right in place. Boom! It's like,
If you can get that, my favorite is like, and it normally comes from tension. But if you do that thing where you just lean forward and then you get it going right up like piano keys, like,
that's so good. There's also like that one where like you can lay on the floor and then have someone do at your upper to like mid back, and then use just like their body weight, and it just goes all the way down. Oh, it's the best feeling.
The sound is really like satisfying too.
I know. I wonder that because I crack my knuckles, and I'm like, part of it is the sensation, but I think part of it is like making the sound that you like I don't know.
If I get all 4 in a row, it feels better.
When I was a kid, they would freak out about cracking knuckles. Yeah. You're going to get knuckles. Nothing ever happened.
Nothing happens. I was told
arthritis.
that.
They say you're not going to be able to move your fingers.
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah, and I was also told like that they were going to be like big for some reason.
Swollen
Like as a child, like a normal knuckle.
Charlie. This is Charlie.
Howdy.
Yeah.
Howdy. When you take a piss and you get the piss shivers, it's a biological response due to the fact you're losing all that body heat when you piss. It's just a simple reflex that your body does.
Oh, you're pissing your heat out.
There was, I'm going to go back to Atlanta. And what's the buddy's name, the skinny guy?
Darius.
So Darius, remember the time they was buying the sword and they were trading up?
Yeah.
And he said the Mongols killed so many people there was a drop in temperature on the planet Earth. He's the one that's going to be big.
Yeah,
he's next.
Yeah.
Next up. His
Next
movie
up.
coming out this
Next
summer.
up.
Sorry to bother you.
You're always bothering me. Oh, that's the movie. I'm sorry. John in Milwaukee. John, what's up?
What's up, guys? For me, one of the things was when I was growing up, my dad and I would always build furniture, and when you'd get a nice, deep sliver and you'd pull that thing out, there's that weird, like, not to the guy's comment of losing heat when you're taking a piss shiver, but that's kind of like an overwhelming sensation when it just comes pulling right on out.
The
weird.
problem is that the pain that happens beforehand. But
I wonder if it's like the poison kind of leaving your body.
Yeah.
You know?
But it is satisfying to like get at something you meant to. Like if you have a piece of glass in your foot and you can finally like dig it out with tweezers, and then you like realize, oh God, that pain is just like immediately gone.
Oh.
I have another good one for you.
All right.
The sensation of going to a salon and having your hair washed for you. Someone washing your hair.
Beehive.
It's like massaging your scalp. It's one of my most and it's borderline sexual to me.
It is. It is very intimate. But if you just smoke a joint before you do that, and it just feels like you're just wrapping around those fingers, it feels like your skull is made out of mush. And it doesn't feel like that when you're doing your own hair.
No, it doesn't. Like for some reason, when someone washes your hair, you've never been able to get that sensation while doing it yourself. You can never do that.
It's true. It is true. And I mean, the massage has the same thing. Like, you're like, how did I not know my feet hurt so much before I started getting this relaxing rub? I didn't even know my feet hurt.
The first time I ever went for a real massage, immediately I started to think like, oh, like this is why humans like physical touch. Like it feels good to be touched by another human.
It's very weird. And they said like if you have a baby and you could be doing everything correct, but you're not holding the baby, that baby will either die or end up as a real fucking strange, awful person.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a serial killer or something.
Yeah.
Because
like,
it did not get enough human touch.
Yeah. I was reading this thing, or it was like sometimes new parents get this thing where you're like, oh, you don't want to spoil the baby. Don't run to the baby every time the baby cries, is actually entirely incorrect.
Of course.
You can't spoil a newborn. Like they actually need physical touch all the time to feel safe. Otherwise, they're like, their brain is in like crisis mode.
Yes. So why they're not, then you break them of crying and having you come in, but you have them laying in terror thinking, no, there's nothing to protect me ever. So I might as well stay quiet as I can.
So sad and scary.
I remember the first massage I ever had, and I'm saying to her, well, an extra 100 to do this? I mean, it just seems like you're right next to it. Here's, it says Flanny.
Hey guys, congratulations, Gail and Ron.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Pepper might not understand this, but the feeling when you just finish a run
and you've got those endorphins going, and your body just relaxes, and it's over.
Yes, and that is a wonderful thing because you're like, the cops are nowhere near me now. You know what I mean? I got away with this. I can't believe it.
I could definitely relate, like the feeling of not exercising. That's what you're describing? Yes, I love it.
I do like the idea of sitting on my couch.
Oh my God.
I do like, well, you know, Vito just went through this with his not sleeping that entire weekend. But when you have something like that and you do make it to your bed
and then
you're just like,
you feel the muscles relax
and
in
you're
your
like,
body.
it's not even up to me whether I go to sleep or not. You know what I mean? Like, there's something really great about the winter when you just get home and it feels like you're around the hearth or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's warm and you
safe here.
Yeah, just like you want to eat, but you're tired, and you
We're
get the nods.
We're really strange creatures, and we're like, we make these little cave homes for ourselves, and then we're just like, safety.
You can't live without it. You cannot survive without your cave hole. Michael, what's up?
All right, so this is going to sound a little strange. I don't know. Gail just mentioned Q-tips, right?
Yes.
She did.
All right, the most incredible feeling in the world. Now, this is a little strange. So imagine when you wake up in the morning and you have to go to the bathroom. And you have to do a number one and a number two. It feels really good when you first wake up and do them both. But then imagine cleaning your ears with Q-tip while you're doing them both.
Dude, you are flying too close to the sun. You're crossing the streams right now. You're going to end up having a stroke.
I just imagine now, like a man sitting down on the toilet, pissing, shitting, and then two fucking Q-tips in each ear.
While he's eating a sandwich.
Have you ever scratched your dog's belly so much his leg going like crazy?
Oh, yeah.
That's like me in the morning.
That's hilarious. He's got it all together, man. He's doing everything. Steve, what's
you mean
up?
Steve?
Yes.
Oh, okay. First, congratulations, Gail and Ron.
Oh.
Thank you.
Nothing is overrated as an orgasm, underrated as a good sneeze.
That's true. A sneeze that you've been waiting for, that's bugging you for like hours, and then it finally happens. It's fucking excellent.
You ever sneeze so hard you think you might have broke your neck? You're like, oh, that's dangerous. You just see white.
I have had spotted vision from a good sneeze before.
Me too. But an orgasm is not overrated. It is just rated. That is rated
well
perfectly. Hey, Corey. Corey, what's up?
Yeah, hey, this one's kind of gross. And I don't know if it's athlete's foot or not, but if you're doing a lot of strenuous activities, your feet sweat, but you end up with little water blisters on the sides of your feet.
Oh, God.
And you can scrape them off, and it just feels amazing. And it heals fairly quick, too, but they're like little water blisters, and when you scrape them, it feels like an orgasm. It's like the best
I am
ever.
so happy to say I don't even have any idea what you're talking about.
Open talked about it, too. I don't know if it's athlete's foot, but it feels good. Thanks.
All right,
Bye.
thanks.
Oh, these little water blisters are creeping me out.
Ryan, what's up?
Hey, what's up, buddies? Hey, how about when you're on like a first date or on a plane and you feel all that gas building up in your stomach, but you got to hold in your farts, and then you can finally get that privacy or a crowd that you can blend into and just let it rip. I think that feels pretty good.
Either privacy or very public.
You know, I think it was Norton once that I heard, like, when the first time like he's with a new sexual partner, he always feels gassy, like has a nervous stomach. And I'm like, it's kind of fucking brilliant that people come up with that premise that he came up with. Because there's, you know, once you're around people, you're like, oh, okay, I feel comfortable enough.
Sure.
But at the beginning of any relationship, there is a thing of nerves and his came straight through his stomach.
It's so sad.
I think it's very, very interesting.
And there is a very long period of time that if you're with someone new, that you don't want them to think you do any bodily functions.
None.
You just are like, I don't want you to know that this is something I do.
Every once in a while I go, because you're at a hotel with them, you go, every once in a while I just go in and turn on the spigot. That's my thing.
I like to do.
I'm going to go scrub up again. Scrub that face good. It's Smiling Mike. Smiling Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Cool, buddy.
Your new favorite fan up in Minnesota. I'm the fish dude that had a stroke.
Good to talk to you,
guys are
Mike.
just my favorite show. But this one's for my little sister who passed away about a week ago. Probably a story that you guys would like. When I was sitting on a porch one time about 4th or 5th grade, and all of a sudden I had this excruciating pain in the end of my penis. And I ran inside screaming for my mom, and I whipped my pants down, and there was something hanging out of the end of my penis, and my little sister grabbed it and yanked it out. It was one of those big red ants.
Oh,
God! It was one of the most excruciating pains I have ever felt in my life. And it was kind of embarrassing when I told people, your little sister pulled it out. And I didn't care who pulled it out. It was like...
All hands on deck then, brother.
Enjoying some grapes and then... excruciating pain like I'd never felt. You know, the only thing I could think of, whip my pants down and see what the fuck.
And that's one ant, one red ant. Imagine.
Jesus.
Yeah, one red ant can make your life excruciating.
By the way, this had nothing to do with the topic,
I
Mike.
know. It was about pleasure.
Yeah, it was about
Well, I thought it was, you know, they were talking about peeing and shivers. I said, well, this is a shiver I just couldn't explain, you know. But
all right, thanks,
sorry,
Mike.
I'm always off topic. I kind of go there.
No, that was great. That'll stay with me for many years. Ant in the pee hole.
You know, Mike, when he brought up, like, reminding us that he called before, we haven't heard from Janice in a long time, and we've been a little concerned about it. And I don't think any of our callers know her because she's never done social media.
No, never.
I don't think, we've been trying to figure that out, but I don't think that she does Twitter or any of those other things. But if you've ever been in contact with her.
We had a number and we call it and it just rings.
Yeah, I called it last week. It was just ringing. Yeah.
And you don't have her address, right?
I think we do have her address.
Why aren't we writing a fucking letter? That would have already been done by the time we started worrying about it.
Or sending someone over there. Give a knock.
That would be weird.
Why?
Janice, your radio show? You don't know me?
I don't think it's
but
that
your radio
weird.
show sent you?
I don't think that's weird.
Did you do a welfare check, officer? Yes, I'm a radio producer checking up on one of the listeners.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Calling a police. I mean, you said it as a joke. That's what I'm talking about.
But hopefully she just, she lost her SXM and that's it.
Maybe that's what it is.
But we've been nerve-wracked about it. That red ant thing. So we got all these great calls and like that got us thinking weird. Hey, Andrew in New England.
Nebraska. Hey guys, congratulations.
Thanks.
When I was in college, I got into a bad car accident, and my right arm had a lot of soft tissue damage, just glass and cuts up and down it. So the Podunk Hospital in Texas told me not to wash it because the wounds were open. So 5 weeks later, I go to a physical therapist in Dallas, and they tell me, yeah, you could have washed it that whole time. Those guys, they don't know what they're talking about. So she asked me if she could, and so we ran water over it, and I hadn't been touching it. It's been wrapped in gauze for 5 weeks. When she finally did, I'll never forget it. It was incredible. And then she ran her nails over my skin, too, and it was just,
I had forgotten this until he brought it up. I told you before I had my hand crushed when I was younger.
Yeah.
So I used to have to go see this therapist, and all they would do is there'd be a little box of sand, and they would say, just squeeze the sand. So they would take my bandages off, I'd squeeze the sand.
Just to work the muscles.
And that
stuff?
was kind of hurt, right? Because your little fucking, all the ligaments and shit were fucked up. But then they took my hand and put it into this goopy hot wax, pulled it out, back in, hot wax. So it just built up this big wax glove that was hot and then wrapped it in plastic.
Oh, that sounds great.
I would fucking nod out. And I said to her once, dude, could you do my other hand, the healthy hand? I'd like to have both hands going. Like, I've never heard anybody ask for that. I go, I wouldn't even mind putting my feet in here a little bit.
Wax feet.
I bet almost everyone falls in love with their physical therapist.
I'm sure.
You know what I mean? She's there. She's wearing loose fitting clothing,
Mhm.
you know? She's kind of goofy and nerdy because she's smart.
Like she's physically touching you, and then also like wants what's best for you.
Right.
Like like you have the caretaker thing.
Yeah,
The
like,
Florence
she's-
Nightingale a little bit.
She's happy when you can finally make the okay sign. Like, hey, I'm doing it. I've accomplished
Great
it.
job.
You ever like go to visit a friend in the hospital and they're always like, they're really happy I finished my meal today, and they start bragging to you about stuff that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? He's really happy I got my sugar down, so he's telling me he never saw anything like it. And I'm just like, I don't know what to say to you, dude. I mean, this fucking third grader act that you're playing, it's doing nothing for me. Let's break here, Christopher. Bennington show. What is today? Thursday?
It is.
Well, 76ers started a well-earned vacation today. And
Congrats, guys.
Congratulations, you guys earned a wonderful vacation. But, you know, it was a hell of a year.
Yeah.
I mean, you go from, 10 wins or something last year to winning the first round. And everybody really wanted it and expected, but Boston outplayed them. What are you
Yeah.
going to do?
Yeah. I mean, it was just one of those things. Fun while it lasted. I was enjoying
Yes,
it. And you
that's
know,
what
I'm not
sport-
a basketball person.
No, that's what sports is. Fun while it lasted. I sliced my wrist after, and then I'm like, you know what? It still was a good season. I'm not going to cut the other wrist.
Were you able to get yourself to a hospital or something?
It's just the weird thing about sports is you can't imagine it stopping. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So then when it does, you're like, huh?
You start that like magical thinking where like, and then this will happen and we'll definitely win.
And then last night I sat and I felt as dumb as a Vikings fan. Like, how dumb am I that I believed in them? How dumb. Yeah, so that's the end of that. Onward and upward and all good things. What was this Seth Meyers story on the iBang about Michelle Wolf?
Because he did the correspondence dinner. He told her on his show that she beat him when.
Oh, everybody did.
Yeah.
Everybody beat you, dude.
But he felt he had to tell it to her in person.
Well, she used to write for him, right? Am I wrong about that?
Yes, she did.
Yeah, I think that she
so-
did.
That'd be like me saying to Vito, you're good. I don't see that ever happening, do you? Vito, do you even ever see that happening?
No.
Are you kidding? You just had the biggest weekend of your life last weekend.
Yeah, and he was nice to you.
And
Told
who
you-
I brought you food. You gave me zero conversation.
I couldn't talk.
Both times.
I didn't have any ability to have a conversation.
Is
Now-
that just because you speak broken English?
I'm going to be honest. Yesterday in a conversation with Vito, he was sort of comparing and saying that with labor.
No, I wasn't.
He was saying that it was like, I was like, hey, 36 hours. I mean, that's pretty similar to somebody
That's
going through
not what
labor.
happened. I made a joke and I said, well,
That
until-
joke is in bad taste, my friend.
I said, until you write every hour for 34 hours, you have nothing to compare to.
Yeah, he wasn't joking. Men are always saying that we kind of, we have no idea. It's something that we just have no idea. And you can be there the entire time and you still have no idea. Do you have a fear of this, Gail? Does it worry you, this intense pain?
No, but I think I might just not be understand. Like, it's something that I'm like, there's no way for me to know. I can read a million things. I can hear everybody's experience, but I don't think that you're going to know until you're like standing on the edge of that experience, looking out over it and going, oh, this is it. But it is weird to know that it's coming. It's something that's going to happen. Because like the way I keep thinking of it is like, you know how dads are always like that, like the birth of my child was like the happiest day of my life. I'm like, you usually don't hear women say it. like not the birth, you know what I mean? Like they're just like, well, that was something I did. I got a baby and I'm really happy at the outcome. But like the day itself doesn't seem to be like their favorite day ever.
I wonder if men were the ones who carried, right? Would we have more or less children in the world? Because men love stuff like boot camp. You know, they like to say, I did this thing.
Yeah, I think we would have less. I think we would have less for sure, though. Because I know that when people try to do those things where they have like labor pain simulators.
I hate that thing.
Which is not even birth. You know, it's not birth. Right. It's not what it feels like to give birth. It's just what it feels like to have a contraction. But they put like little electrodes. Have you ever seen this, Chris?
I've never seen this.
So they put electrodes on, you could put electrodes on a man's belly and then give him a shock or something that makes the muscles then contract in a way that makes it feel like labor contractions. So it doesn't simulate birth or the experience of having something the size of a watermelon rip out of your vagina.
Oh, damn it.
But
I know, that's how I feel too. I
know.
Like to hear about it.
I think the thing that
you
probably
said that Chris was too blunt.
the thing that bums me out is like, right, the thing that probably worries me the most about the experience is like, I like to keep my like vagina and asshole separate. I just don't want that to be one place.
Well, it doesn't stay there.
I know, but I still just don't even want it for a second. Like sometimes like, oh, they stitch you up if that happens. And you're like, but I don't want that.
I don't want that either.
I don't want that for me.
I don't want it.
So if we could just avoid that entirely. You guys are they're on. Some of them are taking a knee.
It's a very difficult thing to hear.
And then
I don't even think it should be ever talked about. I like the old days when it would not be discussed. The man would wait at home with he would have a cigar ready to go. My dad wasn't even at the hospital with me. He got a call.
Really? Mm-hmm. He wasn't there. Yeah, that was common then. It was very common. Which I also think now, it's, the man has to be there. But is there like an in-between? Like the men should be there who would be good in that scenario, but there's got to be men who are not going to be the person you want in that scenario.
We've been shamed into it. This is not something that men decided to do.
Yeah. I mean, some men probably, they are very supportive or they might be good in that circumstance, but I think a lot of men probably aren't.
Well, here's the thing. Even the guys that think they're supportive, a lot of them have video cameras and fucking cameras and shit, or they're just saying stupid stuff. Like I read this whole thing about how dumb people are.
Well,
the dumb shit that they say.
Having access to the internet is great because, you go on YouTube and you can watch 1 million births and you can just go, okay, this is what, I want to just know and see everything that I need to see, the difficult stuff, everything all the way in between. But so common is those kind of YouTube family people and they vlog their birth and 90% of it is just camera on dad, yeah, this is pretty crazy. And you're just get back to the birth.
I was in for 2 births. And I've also been in a garage when my car was being worked on. And I was probably more helpful there. Because I was saying the same things. How long before this is over? This is a fucking nightmare. I really need this back as soon as I can.
Well, we were even just talking about how the family coming to visit in the hospital is so different because people don't really do the nursery anymore. That's you don't stick your baby in a nursery. The baby stays bedside with you while you're in the hospital. So that thing of like all the aunts and uncles and cousins come by and they used to like wait, oh, there's the baby. That's our baby. Like there's no like display window of baby really.
When I had you, and I'm walking down the hall with you, you were just born. All your Florida relatives were waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And, grandmother, aunts, uncles, and I'm carrying you for the first time. And I see them, and I kind of felt like maybe a Gail Sayers, Billy White Shoes Johnson, open field runner. Like I just had this thing as I don't want to hand this baby to you.
Yeah.
You're all sloppy, horrible people who've been waiting here for 16 hours or whatever it was.
Well, that's going to be like the world's weirdest sensation. I just keep playing this over that right now she's with me all the time. I'm holding her, essentially. And then she's going to be apart from my body. And then people are just like, I want to hold the baby. And you're going to be like, what?
It's weird.
It's got to be the weirdest feeling.
I didn't even want, I was nervous when the nurse was holding the baby. And this is the person that was with us the whole time.
Yeah.
The midwife.
Yeah, that's got to be the weirdest.
I'm like, easy. You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
That's my baby, goddammit.
I was talking to my mom yesterday, and she was saying to me, she's like, well, she's talking about me and your mom, and she's like, you two are going to have to get back in the game because you've been living like as a honeymoon for a while. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
What do you mean?
This is not adding anything to my life that is stressful.
You guys have been coasting. Time to fucking pick up the pace, Earn your keep a little around here.
I don't know what everyone thinks I'm going to be doing.
I don't know.
Take it over?
Yeah, I've heard people say to you things like, this is going to be crazy for you, or like, you're going to have your hands full. And you're like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
I'm really not. I'm going to get to visit
be involved.
My grandchild. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm only going to be there in a supportive role. Or saying, no, sorry, can't do it.
I wish I could.
Wish I cared more. No, it is really, it's the weirdest thing ever. I don't think any of us, like I said, I was right next to your mom, and I have no idea. You know what I mean? What that experience was. Like, I would say stuff, but I don't feel like putting you in a weirder place.
Right. Stuff that you were trying to be helpful, you mean? Like,
no, whatever.
Yeah.
That thing, let's face it. If I got shot and you guys came over and were like, hey, buddy, the ambulance is on the way. We didn't go through this together. You know what I mean? No matter how close you are to me, you don't know what it feels like.
Together.
I got shot in the knee.
You're going to be okay.
Oh, I was there the whole time. I was the whole time with him. We did it.
He was shot in the knee, and I only drifted off for like a half hour and 45 minutes, but I was pretty much with him the whole way.
You ever been like that? Because I remember after I had my appendicitis and I would be in bad pain, I look over and I'd see people like watching the TV. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm really hurting bad.
This is some time for you to catch up on a show. Oh, look in the news. Look what's happening. I can't think about anything else.
What about people who deliver like during the Super Bowl? Where you're just like, honey, it's halftime.
They're up.
So if you want to go ahead and take care of this now.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss the second half.
I know how much you like the halftime of the Super Bowl. You want to watch it? Here's our friend, Laurie. Laurie, how are you, darling?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it's good.
Good for you.
I just wanted to, go back to how Gail was talking about passing off this like part of her body that she just gave birth to someone else, and just that feel of, I don't know, that like kind of intimacy of this is my baby that is part of my body. I gotta say, when Zoe was born and she was put on my chest and we made eye contact, she was clearly a separate person from me.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that she would seem so separate and alien.
Wow.
Like, not in a bad way. Like,
no, I know exactly. I know.
Sci-fi way.
Dude, I had the same exact thing with Gail.
Yeah, she was herself already, you know? So that kind of, eases it up a little bit.
I did not even have the feeling with Gail that she was brand new.
Old soul, you think?
Felt like it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even use those words, but it certainly felt like, oh, this isn't her first day anywhere. And I don't
know. Yeah, like she's from someplace else.
From someplace else, and she's here and doesn't know a lot of stuff, and we're going to help her find her way around. But I didn't feel any sense of ownership, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think also that this idea that you're gonna. It's weird because the baby has been with you this time, but then you're going to meet her and she's going to be like her own person who probably already will very quickly develop preferences and personality and different things that she does. And this is so bizarre.
This is what America went through with the Beatles. We felt like they were here and they were ours, and the next thing we know, they're going in their own way. Thanks, Laurie, darling.
Yeah, good to talk.
Take care.
Peace. Here's the Queen. Queen, how are you? Hey.
Hi.
I actually found women to be less supportive. Now, I'm not talking like my mother, but other women, because at my baby shower, everyone is going to tell their horror story of their delivery and how it was so awful and blah, 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 blah. And that just really, I was like, what? Like, I have 3 brothers. They were just like, yeah, you'll be fine. Like, no big deal. And my husband, who is completely paranoid about hospitals, like that's the last place on earth he ever wanted to be. When I finally went to have my daughter, now it was a little hairy situation. She was very early, and we had an emergency C-section, and he just went into like some click mode where he just had to emotionally get me through this. And he was like, hey, everything's fine. Everything's going to be fine. And then afterwards, he kind of fell apart. But that's actually what I needed at the time, because I could see my mother starting to panic, and I didn't want all of that. So I actually found my husband's comfort to be a little better in that situation, which was,
Queen, you're the person that you brought up before that says a horror story.
No.
You just scared the shit out of us.
I'm not sharing it. It was my own. That was my own thing. But she was. I actually got introduced to my daughter through a picture, because she was, they
in the
worked
NICU
on her.
or?
Right. She was in the NICU, and they brought me this picture, and I remember they handed it to me with no explanation. And I was like, who's this? Like,
who's this?
I just got out of surgery.
Who's
with this? And
you're all still drugged up.
I was
Cute
literally
baby.
like, I was stoned, as my father would say. And I'm looking at it, and, she has red hair like me. And I remember thinking, like, what, who the hell is this? Like, it was so bizarre, but, it was just such a weird situation, but eventually, we bonded.
Sure.
But I finally got to meet her.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that you don't get along with at first, and then as time goes on, you know what? You're not so bad.
Cool.
Yeah.
But even when pregnant women talk to me and stuff, I try to downplay what happened to me, because it was so rare. So don't be scared.
Thanks, sweetie.
Take care, darling.
Bye.
Chris, I'd like to see you and that Costa Rican girlfriend of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Once she has that baby, she might be able to stay in this country. You should have a little anchor baby.
That's a great idea.
You can't get rid of the mother.
I mean, she's a dreamer.
Chris is still the only person who has not tried to feel my pregnant belly or have any interest. If I say, oh, the baby's kicking right now, he's still the only person who's like,
let's do this. In the first year, can he take the baby for, I'm not even saying a weekend, just 24 hours.
I would prefer not to.
Why?
I'll be honest.
It's part of your job, Chris.
What?
All
right
of us are going to
here in the
contract. All of us are going to spend time taking care of the baby.
I don't think I'm the best man for the job. I'll be honest. I don't know how to take care of a child.
Well, how do you think you learned?
Yeah, you've got to do it right away. Everyone keeps saying about, you start getting like, oh God, handling a newborn is crazy. It must be so scary. Changing a newborn, bathing a newborn, all these things. They say, well, yeah, it's scary, but then you're an expert within 72 hours because you're spending all your time with the baby. You're not doing anything but changing diapers and taking care of your baby. So it's only just a little weird at first. And then 48 hours later, you're just like, yeah, this is how I change a diaper. I mean, this is my system.
48 hours would be really great. Like if you have a cop and a baby and they have to solve a crime.
That would be great.
In 48 hours. Does this thing have the two of you talking, you and your fiance, talking about whether or not you want to have your own baby?
No, it's not having us talking about having babies.
You guys don't talk about me?
I think it would help mature you a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think you would settle down.
Because
Stop all your
You're
rambling.
so like...
Stop your gambling.
I like all the rambling and the gambling.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Well, I try to keep it going as long as I can.
Like, you know how you're just like, me.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that part.
You got to learn that there is someone outside of yourself to build your empathy.
But I don't want to create that other self.
What do you want to
What do you want to adopt? That's fine.
Steal a baby? Are you saying you would actually go into a hospital and take a baby?
No.
Chris.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I would.
You're not saying it either, Chris.
It's true.
I think you would make a great dad. I see the way you are with Vito.
Oh, God.
And Vito, you definitely want a baby, right?
Yeah, I love children.
By what age?
33.
33, same age as Jesus.
That's the right age.
And John Belushi. So 33.
I have to find a girl first, Vito.
I'm giving myself 8 good years.
He could do it. And that's a
Not this
decent.
rate.
It's a decent amount of time. He's a young man.
His worth thing is he's going to have sex. Oh, man, I want to see this one. Anthony Bourdain in Newfoundland.
Oh, yeah.
There's something about Newfoundland that always just haunts me. It's just so far weirdly up there.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I feel like I'm more drawn to Newfoundland than I am Alaska.
Really?
Yeah.
I really have a yearning to go to Alaska.
I see Alaska and I'm like, oh, that looks beautiful and weird. But Newfoundland just seems, maybe it's because it's East Coasty.
Yeah, that
You know
could
what I
be
mean?
what it is.
It's like the most extreme.
Arctic
I
East
spent
Coast.
time in Nova Scotia, which really seems up there to me. And they're like, the Newfies are fucking crazy, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I know a bunch of Newfies. And they were in the carnival. They would come down and work the carnivals. And they were all just real fucking knock around guys.
Oh, it is
you know?
really up there.
It's way up there.
Yeah.
It's way. Just get a straight map of. All right. What are you doing, Chris? That's just a. Yeah, get the straight map of Canada. There's fucking Nova Scotia right there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that's how far up Newfoundland is. And they have like an English accent almost. They have a weird
They have a
Mid-Atlantic
yeah.
thing that it seems like it's closer to being English than it is an American accent. And it's not exactly Canada. It's weird. Everybody in Canada is not like everybody else in Canada. Like we go, oh, you know how Canadians are. We mean people from Toronto. You know what I mean? But when you get around in Canada, they're like, a lot of them never even been to Toronto.
Yeah, and they're also spread apart and have like such vastly different lifestyles. Like some of them are just like out there by themselves.
Yeah, some people are very suburban and you can totally identify with the lifestyle. You're like, oh, Canada, it's like fucking Minnesota or something. And then other people, you're like, oh, these are some hard fucking folks, huh?
Yeah.
You know, you just meet some really fucking tough, hard people, you know, that live a physical life. You're like, wow, you know, there's warmer places.
You don't have to live like this.
But, being a New Yorker isn't a normal thing.
No.
It's an extreme weird thing
It
to
is.
do.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, like in the movies, like in New York.
Just regular life, New Yorker life. Yeah. New Yorkers do think that we have a regular life.
Yeah. And you just get outside and you're like, oh man, the world's different. You don't have to get that. If you get a mile outside of New York and you're oh, this is nothing like the way I live.
Nope.
And that's funny too, because all those upstate New Yorkers, there's suburbs, but then there's just farm country, there's mountains, there's all this stuff. And then when somebody says I'm from New York, they're just oh, the big city. And they're like, no, most of it is farmland and mountains and stuff.
99% of New York is not urban at all.
Yeah.
Of New York State. And that's why they always vote the exact opposite.
Yeah.
They're like, can we become our own state? We're like, go ahead. Because we don't know what you're doing either. We don't know what happens in the fucking Finger Lakes, dude. I'm not going to lie to you. You fingers or you lakes? What are you?
I know. I was shocked when I went to upstate to college and people talked about having keg parties in the forest. I was like, what are you talking about?
First of all, none of us call the woods the forest.
I was just going to say, a kegger in the woods. I've heard that many times at purchase, but I never heard anyone say, we're going to have a kegger in the forest with the fetties.
I spent years at keg parties in the woods.
Yeah.
Years.
Shocking.
That was my first experience, is going up to purchase. And then also, I had friends who lived farther upstate, New Paltz area. So we would go up there and visit, their friends from high school. And it was seriously, I was like, this is awesome, guy. What a cool life you have. And they were just looking at me what are you talking about? I was like, it's dazed and confused here, guys. I really love it. Yeah. You guys get kegs and you drink out of red cups and stuff. It's so cool. You guys are just peeing in the woods. All right. I guess this is a party.
That was my life. Although I've left 3 times now thinking of him calling the woods a forest.
The party in the forest. Forest. It's so cute.
With fucking creatures and animals and whatnot.
What creatures?
Let's say bears, deers. The first time I saw a raccoon.
Slow down. Plural of deer is deer. Okay, so stop sounding like you're a fucking cats and jammer kid.
Oh my God, that was cute.
And you're not running any bears in fucking Westchester.
Yeah, it's not in Westchester. It's not. They're not over there.
I saw a raccoon for the first time in Westchester, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
You have raccoons all through Brooklyn and Queens.
I saw one in Central Park the other day.
Oh yeah?
And it was raggedy ass looking.
I have massive raccoons living near me in Prospect Park and the cemeteries and all the little parks. Huge raccoons.
Never saw one. When I saw the first one, what the fuck is that? They freaked me out with their creepy raccoon hands going through the fucking garbage.
Their hands are pretty creepy.
They're fucking creepy.
Going through people's pants.
I really like their hands.
Yeah, it's adorable.
It's really cute. You ever see that video where the raccoon is stealing the cat's food? And he picks it up and then runs away, but it just looks like a person in a little raccoon suit.
It looks like that's why a burglar is set up on a raccoon. But I remember being in fucking Canada when we were kids and we were fishing, and the raccoons got into the cooler and we put a flashlight on them, and they were eating eggs. They were just breaking and sucking the eggs out and then putting the eggs back in the egg carton. We were like, oh my God. It was like a fucking person. Look, this fucking thing just thinks he's a cat.
He's just come up to the bowl. They love to rinse off their food. I don't really know why they do that.
It's nice.
They just give it a little rinse.
Chris, you're never going to live outside the city?
I don't see myself living outside the 5 boroughs now. I think I just like it here too much. Plus, I don't drive. That's gonna hamstring me a little bit.
You can learn, though.
Outside.
You can learn.
You can Uber anywhere now.
And actually, yeah, an Uber is free outside of New York City. I was taking $2 Ubers in Austin. I was like, what? This
yeah, but you were going 100 yards.
That'd still be $8 in New York. Yeah, I don't like raccoons at all.
This
There he goes.
Fucking scary.
That's so cute. It's like a little person. Like how? Like,
I don't know why. He's Chris, the first person I ever met. Hates a raccoon.
they're really cute.
Even Groot's raccoon?
Yes, even Groot's raccoon.
That's not cool.
Seems like a wise ass.
I'm interested in this raccoon. I knew that Groot existed, but
Rocket raccoon.
cute.
Very cute. Voiced by Bradley Cooper.
Hey, Paul in Michigan.
Hey, how you doing? I'm actually a truck driver out of Canada. Just happen to be in Michigan right now. But you were talking about Newfoundland nearby.
Yeah.
I was married to a Newfie.
What are they like? What are the people like?
Oh, the people are great.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it is a whole different world once you cross the water and land on the rock. It's a whole different world. So, they're laid back, and nobody really seems to give a shit.
Well, who was the Newfie, Chris, that you used to be obsessed with?
Donnie Dumphy.
Oh yeah, Donnie.
Play a little Donnie for us.
He was a Newfoundland rapper. His big hit was Having a Time.
Oh, that's the best.
Oh, so good.
Long time ago. Drunk on Bennington, our own Chris Stanley. Chris Stanley is Dan Harmon without the talent, without the ability to get a script out.
Rick and Morty just got 70 more episodes.
Ricky Morty?
Rick and Morty. Rick
Who's
and
Ricky Morty?
Ricky Morty. Ricky Morty. How many episodes?
70.
How many seasons is that?
Since they have 30 episodes now.
Wait, they only have 30 episodes?
I was surprised,
I
too.
feel like they've been around forever.
Yeah, that's really weird.
When did that show start?
I feel like I could catch up.
3 or 4 years ago, because there was a very long time between the second and third season.
I had no idea this.
Yeah.
I feel like they've been around for 10 years.
Yeah, me too. That really surprises me. Because that's a show that, like, if somebody told me, oh, you really got to start watching, I would have just assumed I'm never going
to get
up to speed.
Yeah, a lot of people told me to start watching. I couldn't possibly. And at that time, they must have been 15 episodes when they started.
So now they have a deal for 70 more.
Well, that's an intense deal.
Your life is set. Well, they got to send them to China to fucking, get the things or whatever. What's the whole bit about? It's Back to the Future?
It's pretty much, it's Back to the Future, except Doc is, I think, Rick, and he's a drunk. He's like a severe alcoholic, and Morty, the child, is supposed to be the Michael J. Fox character.
Let me see what he looks like. Just scroll down.
Rick and Morty.
Got it.
Doc is always throwing up, right?
He's constantly throwing up.
Yeah, I've seen clips.
His rampant alcoholism.
Okay.
But he is a genius.
So it's
apparently.
sad? It's a sad show?
It's a comedy, I think.
Okay.
It's comedically sad.
And Szechuan sauce or something? I know that's the thing.
They made a reference to Szechuan sauce. Then there's Pickle Rick. When Rick got turned into a pickle, that was very popular from the last season. Everyone was saying Pickle Rick.
Hold on. Everyone is just saying Pickle Rick.
How
it's
are
not
they
a thing
saying
I heard it.
Pickle Rick.
No, how are they? What context? You fucking
That's what I'm saying. Like the phrase, everyone's saying Pickle Rick.
Yeah.
All right, Pickle
But he's
Rick,
saying
my
yes.
friend.
He's saying yes to the fact that you're disagreeing. But why? How are they using the term
Like
Pickle
use
Rick?
Pickle Rick in a sentence.
They're saying they're just yelling it as a reference. It doesn't make any sense in the sentence. Like in the episode.
I think that you don't know, Chris.
No, I've seen parts of the episode.
Are you a fan or not a fan?
I'm not a fan of.
You know that fan is short for fanatic, and you don't seem like you have a fanatical amount of.
No.
I like this article went down. I think it was George Will today. Pence is worse than Trump. And the whole point is Pence. They made the point that Trump knew by picking Pence that there would be someone worse than him. And I got to tell you, there is nothing about Pence I like. There's plenty of stuff about Trump that makes me laugh. Plenty of stuff that go, that's pretty fucking amazing.
I'll tell you
pulled
this.
that off.
Pence has never given me a chuckle the way Trump has.
No. And then you found out that fucking Pence went to college with Woody Harrelson and they knew each other.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they got along.
They got along.
What was a young Pence like?
It was more the young fucking Harrelson was in a Presbyterian college.
Oh, that's weird.
And
so
then-
he's the one who's changed.
Yeah. And then I think he became Woody at Woody on Cheers, 22, 23. I mean, Woody Harrelson's been around a long fucking time.
Yeah.
He's been a star for 30 years. Maybe more.
It's really weird to think of.
Wait, 400 years he's been a star.
That's too much. It's almost prehistoric.
Yeah. And then Pence said this: someday we'll get this whole country under our thumb, and we will drive the gays underground. You just have a feeling that he says stuff like that.
Yeah, I think he might. He doesn't like the gays, Pence.
He can't stand them. And it's the fact of boys kissing boys. I think that's really got it. Yeah, I don't think
That's
it's
a problem?
I don't think it's girls kissing girls.
He's fine with that. I know. Remember when he said he couldn't go to lunch with a girl?
Kept him out of the Me Too unit.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know why I called it a unit. It's got to have some other better name.
I like that we formed a unit. The women have formed a unit. We're the Me Too unit.
Me Too unit reporting for duty.
Just inspecting if there's any Me Too's around here.
Where's the Veets?
We
want the Veets. We want the Veets. We want the Veets. Go get 'em! Yeah. So where is he?
There's a technical issue. He's checking something out
What
in the office.
technical issue?
Are we on the air?
No, we are on the air.
One of us is. We don't know which one right now.
Oh my God. So it's just a one-sided conversation.
At best.
I hope it's Chris.
Pickle Rick. That's how you say it. That's it.
Everybody's saying it, Ron.
Everyone.
Everyone is saying pickle. Look at.
He looked pissed. He looked pissed just now.
Vito came running back and was both sweating and slobbering.
And he looked actually mad. I hope that not us.
Hey, Hooch, where's Turner?
No, I just wanted to make sure everything was good and everything's fine. I'm just happy that this issue didn't happen.
What issue? You thought you weren't taping?
No, I thought that the CD recorder was eating all of our CDs.
What's wrong with your headphones?
How could it eat the CDs?
My finger's stuck in. I just don't want to take
Just take it out. Go ahead, take your finger out.
What happened to you?
He's got his finger stuck in his headphones.
He's falling apart in there.
By the way, your hair looks like The Shining today. Look at that. Isn't that exactly?
It does.
Jack Torrance.
All work and no play.
When you hear me in here.
He's so fucking great at that. And just so over the top.
I remember for years I heard that Stephen King didn't like the movie, and I was just like, why didn't I like the movie? And then I finally looked into it, and he's like, because he's already scary, was his point. The point was like just a regular Joe turns nuts.
Right.
And he's like, when that movie starts, you're already scared of Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
I was like, he has a good point.
During the interview. I'm like, he's going to kill the interviewer.
I know. He was
Well, I like that.
Remember, like, he's like showing them around the room, and he's like, here's your bedroom, and he's like, perfect for a child. It's like, what? What do you mean?
By the way, that is Jack trying to act like a regular person.
I know. He's not normal. And I was like, I guess he kind of has a good point. If that's what you were trying to go for, he's scary from the jump. Like, right away when she's telling that story, you're like, oh, I know he beat that kid.
Yeah.
He did something real bad.
He beat that kid and probably fucked him.
I mean, he did something bad.
There's that old plane I was complaining about.
Yeah, there it is.
It looks like 1962.
It does.
It looks like Bobby Vinton should come walking down off that plane. You know what I'm in the mood for, Vito? Your favorite game show.
Bennington.
I think that's my favorite of all.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
That's a nice one. Chris Stanley, let's play the Bennington Barometer. Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer. Choose between these two artists. David Crosby or Graham Nash?
Graham Nash. It's not even close.
Thought that would be closer.
Why would you think that? How many times have I had Graham Nash on this show?
6.
Yes. I love him.
Well, I thought Crosby was at 3. Same band.
Yeah.
Blew that one yet again.
Why do you got to be angry? Oh, he just read. He opened up to a fresh page, struck a line through it, and then shut his notebook.
He just showed.
Vito, would you try, in a way that Chris couldn't?
Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Close Encounters versus Jaws.
First of all, excellent question.
Really good question.
Jaws, they consider the first, the first blockbuster, the first summer blockbuster, the movie that ruined movies for everybody else. The first tentpole movie. And if I think there wasn't a Star Wars, Close Encounters would be one of the most famous movies.
Yeah.
Close Encounters would probably be Star Wars. Star Wars came out the year before. Jaws or Close Encounters? Vito, what do you think I'm going to choose?
I'm going to go with Jaws.
Jaws.
I went with Close Encounters.
I went with Close Encounters.
The answer? Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And I say that as loving Jaws, but Close Encounters of the Third Kind totally fucking blew me away. And I'll say this, a lot of people don't believe in doing acid and watching movies, and I do, because I went looking for Close Encounters for a long time after that, and I found none. And I saw Steven Spielberg the other day, has never seen a UFO, no, reason why
he was drawn
thinks
to that.
That he even thinks there is any. He goes, I do know that there's sharks in the ocean, though, and that scares me.
Back.
He won't go in the ocean.
Really?
Will not go in the ocean.
So he's Chief Brody. You
He's
don't
Chef
go in
Brody,
the
if anything.
You don't go in the water, do you, Brody?
Why do you live on an island?
It's only an island if you look at it from the water.
That's good.
But also when you look at it from the island too. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, but you don't feel like I'm on an island. You feel like I'm on land. I got him. No word on the volcano that just dropped off the map.
Yeah, I know. I saw an article today about they're trying to find all the pets. It was making me sad.
Somebody lost a cockatoo?
I decided not to read on. I was like, I don't want to read about people's missing volcano pets.
Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Okay.
Barometer.
For this Bennington Barometer, I have a head-to-head between two great characters.
Uh-oh.
You are to choose Mr. Blonde or Mr. White. Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Reservoir Dogs.
From the movie Reservoir Dogs.
I'm one of the few people who saw Reservoir Dogs in the theater immediately the next day after seeing it with my chick, her sister, and Fez Watley. Fez and I then went back and took all the guys from our show to see it.
Yeah.
That's how much we loved the movie.
Loved.
Reservoir Dogs. I'll let you guys choose.
It's tricky, but I think you are going to choose Mr. White.
Vito?
Mr. White.
Chris?
Mr. Blonde.
Not even close for me. Mr. Blonde.
Whoa, Chris, you're killing it. Not with the asking of questions, with the guessing.
Yeah, who's stinking asking? Great at guessing.
Not knowing, Ron, knowing you.
Yeah, I think it's one of the great characters of all time.
Yeah, I love them both.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't sure how you were going to go.
I only love Mr. Blonde.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't love Mr. White?
No, I like him.
Oh.
I like all the
you
characters.
Like him.
Yeah. I might even put Mr. Orange above Mr. White.
Would you, does it change if you're going blonde, nice guy Eddie? Is that a harder Bennington Barometer for
Yes,
you?
it's definitely a harder Bennington
Okay.
Barometer.
Good to know.
One day, One of you may get the balls to try it.
Write that down.
Oh, I'm
Chris
too
Stanley,
scared.
Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Blaxploitation films versus kung fu films.
Blaxploitation.
That's
It's not even close for me, Chris. I'm
Have you
sorry.
ever
These
heard
things aren't. Do you ever once hear me talk about one kung fu
I've never heard you talk about
I
a
know
kung
you like
fu.
Sonny Chiba and Bruce Lee.
You're obsessed with Sonny Chiba.
I couldn't tell you the name of one Sonny Chiba. I never even heard his name until fucking True Romance. I'm not a kung fu guy. And everyone knows Bruce Lee. That's like saying Evel Knievel. But I never has sat around and have watched kung fu movies. Probably the closest I've ever come is the Kill Bills. But Blaxploitation, I fucking love. I love those films. And I miss a pimp as a good guy story. Chris, if you not want to do this, just let me know.
I want to do this so badly. I'm getting everyone else's right.
That's nothing to brag about. Vito, Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Live football or live baseball?
You've done this before with football or baseball. And then I say to you, on TV, football and live baseball.
Yeah. I mean, you're
I've
like
actually made that fucking statement.
I think I usually do Philly. I did Phillies versus the Eagles.
And then what did I tell you then?
Fucking well again. At least I'm out here trying new stuff.
Not really. You're really not.
You're trying new stuff. Yeah, but this stuff
It's
you
new
try.
joke night. All right, Gail Bennington Barometer.
All right, so this one is a little obscure,
Okay.
but it's up your alley.
Yeah.
This is a battle between two rock musicals.
I'm not a big rock music.
I know you're not, but I've picked two that I know that you like.
Okay.
Well, I actually won't call one rock musical. It's a musical that has great music.
Okay.
So you are to pick between Hedwig and the Angry Inch versus Paul Simon's The Cape Man. Two great musicals with fantastic soundtracks that I know you love.
Vito.
Hedwig.
Hedwig.
You know what? I might have chose Hedwig, but now just with these two guys on it, I'm just going to try, and I'm going to say The Cape Man, but I don't know where this is going to go.
Here's the thing about the Cape Man. I think the first half of it is fucking genius. Genius.
Yeah.
Certainly better songs on that than even Hedwig has. But Hedwig is across the board a more solid piece. But you give up the genius of Paul Simon for the silliness and funness of Hedwig.
Right.
This is a good question because it's one I'd rather not answer. You know what I mean? And I literally might answer it differently tomorrow. But because of those songs on Cape Man, that I will put up against any fucking songs of all time. And the fact that they tried to do something,
Yeah.
you know, it came short of genius in terms of writing and putting the play together. But the songs, no, they're brilliant. I would have picked Tommy if that would have came up. Did I tell you I'm going to go see Roger Daltrey do Tommy?
I can't believe that. It's going to be so incredible.
And then the following day, upstate New York, I'm doing a show with Voss and Florentine in some giant tent somewhere. I don't even understand it, but it seems like it's going to be a fun weekend for me.
Dude, that's awesome weekend.
I love doing stuff with those guys. So for that reason, I'm going to pick Cape Man.
Yeah, I did it.
That was a big clap, Chris. All palm.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm always.
Was it like a sarcastic clap?
No,
It did seem a little sarcastic.
It was begrudged. It was a begrudged.
Yeah.
'Cause I
There's
like-
no word called begrudging.
It was I begrudgingly clapped. 'Cause
Yes, you're heading in the right direction. He's a begrudging. Mr. Grinch. All right, let's go, Chris.
Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Bennington Barometer.
Mark Cuban or Mr. Wonderful?
Who I hate more? Is that the question?
You love Shark Tank.
It's so... No, I don't.
Everybody knows he likes Barber and Herjavec. You fucking idiot.
It is true.
No one likes Herjavec.
I mean, I'm going to easily say Cuban
All right.
because he's done the show and he's not Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful.
Do you not want to do this,
Of
Chris?
course I want to do
All right,
this.
You're out as far as asking. Do you know how much I struggled with the last one?
Idiot. You could have said Damon. You could have said Lori.
That would have been tough if you made me choose between Lori and Damon. Oh, God, that might have taken an hour.
GoPro guy, even.
Holy shit.
I have one.
I like the way that Damon like fucking stays cool no matter what's happening. You know what I mean? Well, I started FUBU. It's on lighters and stuff now.
He also gets furious if anybody even listens to somebody else's offer.
I don't blame him for that.
But he takes it personal.
You know what I do hate, and it seems like racism? If a black person comes on the show, they all look over to fucking Damon like, huh? I guess I'll leave this up to Damon. He seems to speak your language.
It's not good.
Now, I was wondering this. Like, if you look at a show like Atlanta, if a white person wrote that, would he be taking heat? The same exact shows that are being called Genius.
Mm-hmm.
Would he be taking heat? Because even if you look at, you know, Quentin has never made an all-black movie.
Right.
He always has black characters, and he always takes shit for the N-bomb.
Here's why it's a too hard of a conversation, because I don't think a white person could write that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just about it's not just a show that has black characters in it, and it would be from the white, you know, like a white perspective, but trying to like do some research on black culture. It, like, you can feel it in the fabric that it is written by someone who understands what he's writing about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's suppose, just for the sake of argument, there was a white guy who was so connected, he wrote that exact show for those exact players. You just found out, hey, white guy writes that show.
Yeah.
I think he'd be taking him. I think he'd be getting pounded right now.
I don't know. I think I think that it would still be a popular show. I don't think that it would have the magnitude, and I don't think that he would be getting in trouble for it. I mean, like, there might be like some backlash, just like the way Donald Glover is getting backlash now because it's like, oh, but he's dating a white woman. Like, I think there would be some nitpicking about it, but I think that it would still be pretty embraced.
I think he'd be taking a lot of heat. And I'll say this, deservedly so. That white fuck thinks he can write about that culture.
He's not done with the culture.
My least favorite stuff is anything to do with the bourgeois kind of blacks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really just like, I like when those guys are starting out on the couch and some shit comes up.
Yeah,
the fucking barbershop fucking episode laid me out, man. I was dying watching that.
Oh,
Bibby.
Bibby was great. But Juneteenth, that episode was so on my nerves.
Yeah, it's very annoying and frustrating.
That's what Jen loves. That's the society she loves.
You love the flashback episode from last week.
I didn't see it yet.
You'll love it.
You know, I'm still fucking catching up.
I know.
Now I got to know there's a flashback coming.
Stop spoiling everything, Vito.
Thank you, Chris.
Well, how about asking another Shark Tank question?
You know what? That was a fucking solid
don't listen to him. No, it wasn't, Chris. It was almost the end of the show. I almost fucking ended it. Because I'm like, this dude doesn't know me at all.
Give him a barometer of which products he liked better.
Don't, Chris. Don't listen to him. Look.
Try to lead me astray, right?
We're almost at the end of the show. This is Gail's turn. But if she wants to push it to Chris to see whether he can save this.
You know what? I had one, but I'm more curious.
Why don't we ask first? Maybe I can get a chance to get them both in.
Okay.
Because they like to play a good one, not just like Chris's.
Wilt Chamberlain or Julius Erving? Bennington barometer.
Can I tell you something? This is almost, in my opinion, a Chris question.
Really?
Dr. J is the fucking greatest thing that ever happened. And Walter Stilt was a freak of nature. I mean,
this was a good one.
No, he was 7'2" when nobody was. I mean, there was guys that were 5'10" guarding him. This is like a guy playing with his nephews. And Julius Erving, is the reason, I think, for the whole NBA culture that followed him. 100%. That's the starting point.
So not Wilt then.
Dr. J. I also said this when he came to Philly. He really chilled out the fucking racial thing. He forced white people to go, I fucking love that Dr. J. Maybe I feel differently about all black people. Chris?
Yes.
With Gail stumbling at the end, this gives you a chance to live as a hero. I'm going to say something odd. I think he's going to do it.
You think he's going to pull it out this time?
I think we're going to cut way into the ending song because we're going to be debating this.
Bennington barometer.
Don't say it like it's a bad thing.
Like, even though all of his missed, with my last miss, like, I'll be the joke of the show if he pulls this off.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you guys can laugh and point at me.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right.
Bennington barometer.
Bennington barometer.
Bennington barometer.
Nervous.
Casino or Goodfellas?
Congratulations, Gail. You are not the joke of the show. Like every other human being on the planet Earth is Goodfellas.
Yes.
And the only reason people watch Casino is that it reminds them so much of Goodfellas.
As soon as I heard him say Casino, I go, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Bronx Tale versus Goodfellas probably would have been better because at least there's
It would have been much better. It would have really set up quite the debate.
Vito knows how to tweak his Bennington barometers, you know? He always has a little tweak on him.
Can I? Yeah, I know. You guys should be working together.
Never.
Never. Co-workers on the same show. Would like you two.
I think butt and fuck should be working together. Hey, can I just say something to a friend of mine? I never really say this, but my friend Don Jr., Donald Trump Jr., is dating the 5 now. And I think that that's fantastic. A lot of people are complaining and say, oh, it just proves how much they're the mouthpiece. No, it doesn't. It proves that love will find a way. Okay? And in this case, a young guy who just recently lost his wife to a Latin king. And I don't mean who she was murdered. She went back to her first love. And you know what? I hate to say this. Goodbye to good garbage. Now Don Jr. is dating the 5. And I think that's quack-tastic. And they work right across the street. Maybe we'll see him, I don't know, coming by with some 5 Guys or, you know, some of that Uncle Paul's pizza. But everybody gets mad at certain things. People that think the same way might fall for each other. I think it's nice.
Yeah, that is true.
Who did she use to date before this?
The mooch.
Oh, God, that's weird.
That's
and he knows the mooch. He likes the mooch.
Yeah, that's too weird, actually.
No, I don't have any problem. Like if Chris broke up with his Costa Rican fiance and Vito started banging her,
Jesus.
I think that would be fine.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't.
Even Chris would be fine with it.
Chris, remember what you said to me? Love finds a way.
Love finds a way.
Thought it was life finds a way.
Love does. Here, let me show you the chaos theory as I pour this in the back of my hand.
Watch the mic.
See that? See?
Pouring water onto the floor.
Yeah, but if it shows love finds a way, look at that.
Still doing it.
All right. Vito, take off your shoes and walk on this so your socks sop it up.
Get the sopping.
It's like I always say to you, socks find a way. Want me to show you how it works in the back of my hand?
No, stop.
Get more socks.
My God. There's now a poodle of water where dryness once ruled. But congratulations to Don Jr. and the 5. I think you make a fantastic sexplet. All right. Tomorrow, we're playing the Unmasked, right?
Louis Anderson Unmasked, 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Louis Anderson. Louis. You think that show is as popular as it was, or it's fallen off a little bit?
I think it's still. I mean, I feel like there's still buzz about it.
All right, good. I always like to check to see how these shows are doing.
Yeah.
Without Louis, and so far, That's just one man's opinion. Okay? Right? I don't want to tell you, certainly. I think the Fives head's not in the game anymore. I think they're two in the Don Jr., but, love finds a way. And love will turn you around. Kenny taught us that a long time ago. There's one more thing Kenny Rogers told me. You got to know when to show them, know when to hold them. And he was talking about your balls when he said that. Know when to show them. Took his balls out. Know when to hold them. Cupped them. Chris, you are childish with any kind of ball humor.
Love it.
Tomorrow, would you have better Bennington barometers?
I'll have better Bennington barometers tomorrow.
Did you not know that you were doing it today?
I know.
You should always have a list ready.
Yeah.
That way you can be a little more thoughtful.
The list.
Could you please not wear the dad shirts anymore? And I'm asking you, please. You're such a fucking good-looking dude.
Thank you.
But you're not helping yourself with this.
It's a nice...
No, it's not.
Nice.
I'd rather see you in your undershirt, your wrestling guy shirt.
I'll take it off, Ron, for you.
Do you wear that when you make sweet love to your lovely gal?
No, I'm buck naked, Ron.
Good for
Really?
you.
You go all out?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Good for you.
Wow, that's awesome.
You walk around the apartment naked?
Yeah,
I love
naked.
it.
Fucking walk around naked. Make sweet love naked.
No, she has roommates. You don't care.
Yeah, she has roommates. Yes. So what?
Let them get a good glimpse.
Yeah. This is
See what they're missing.
This is what I'm working with, all right?
You got some little marks on your arm I want you to have checked out.
Is everything okay there?
Yeah, I'm very disturbed by these
that
little
one-
marks.
This right there?
That, the
So,
one
but-
next to it, the
what-
one down here.
what
That's
is-
strange.
Yeah.
This one's a scar for my shoulder surgery, so...
Okay,
Really?
that was a bite
That
mark.
looks fresh.
What's
Yeah.
Did
that?
you just have it?
What's
No.
that murky gray area?
that I don't know.
That's a solar system.
Concerned.
Small tits on such a fat man.
Yeah, big titty boy, fuck you.
All right.
Come on.
See, I just kept it simple.
Yes.
I didn't curse.
You get back
Yes,
into that.
and honestly, he kind of paid you a compliment.
Compliment.
He's saying you are, an A cup for being a large.
For how fat you are.
Yeah.
You don't have big tits.
Yeah, but you...
Stop as he's rubbing his nipples.
The person
Please
who's-
stop rubbing your
Stop
nipples.
it. Then I'll go to HR right now. I will go directly to HR. All right. And it's so poorly. I had such a good time
I
today.
know, it was fun,
Until
and
the
then-
last couple seconds when butt and fuck were yelling at each
It's
other.
all
rubbing
you.
their
He's the one
nipples.
who makes
Dude,
things weird.
it's like one Siamese twin telling me the other one's an asshole. Doesn't make any sense.
You think if you have Siamese twins and you shoot one in the head, the other one...
Yes.
Okay.
What do you mean?
That's double murder, brother.
But, like, does he stay alive and
No.
watch? Oh.
He's dead.
They're gonna die. Yeah, they're
It's
all their
wound in
organs.
his body.
I would
Yeah.
have guessed.
Their organs, or some of their organs, can be connected.
Wow,
All
headshot?
of them. That's why they don't.
Yeah.
I'm talking about separate heads, headshot to one, and the other one.
Yeah,
Wow.
separate heads is required for what you very un-PC call a Siamese twin.
Why are
Which
you going
we
out
don't say that
with
anymore.
a fucking a terrible flurry to end the show with today?
All right.
I don't want you to start using the word Chinaman on here anymore either. Anyway, I just tried to say congratulations to the American businessmen who came back from North Korea unable to speak English. No one's going to look into that story. We're all covering it up together. Macaro said, Trump once offered me $1 million to play Serena or Venus. But that was just at his house on the weekend?
Oh my God,
or did-
that's so weird. That's
$1 million
really fun.
is low for any of those guys
Yeah.
to do something like that.
I agree.
I'd take it.
Yeah, of course you
Well,
would.
you get
I mean, that's
stopped.
just stupid. You don't have a reputation of them.
For $30, I could get you to blow a bump. Chris, here's $30. You blow that bump? Consider him blown, dude.
Again?
Oh.
Gross.
Yeah. All right, we're staying on. We're not doing the end of the show. Shall we end it?
Yeah.
We have to.
All right. We have to. We have to. Shows have to end. They all went great before this fucking
I know.
weirdness
That's
got,
so
right?
weird.
Okay. No, I guess we'll see you all again.
In 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!